And then I'm just like, oh, I'm late to my own stream. Nobody except I don't have duplicates of that card yet. No, what is it? It's not valid. It's accept, right? It's accept. There you go. Yeah, let's see. Oh no. Oh darn. Oh gosh. Wow, can't believe you lost your card. That's crazy. That sucks. Oh man. Well, anyways. Listen, don't battle people if you don't acknowledge that people are going to accept the challenge. Get wrecked. Exactly. I have a couple surprises for you guys tonight. So yesterday we actually looked through. I'm still over here. I just realized where I was. Yesterday we looked through and we grabbed some new items from the shop to pick up for our for tonight, right? And one of the ones that we purchased was you guys picked the last two, okay? You guys picked it's BTM, right? There you go. Ako! Hi, Ako. Welcome in. You want a classic Ara Ara? Okay. Hi, Kyozar. Hi, Owen. Can't chat on Twitch, but I got on here. Have a great night. Thank you so much, Owen. You too. Take it easy over on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll be able to catch you next time on Twitch. If you can't do Twitch, I mean, obviously YouTube is just as good. But hi, Ivan. Hi, Ako. Hi, Yura. Had a wonderful day. I had a pretty good day. I woke up. I didn't go through any of my emails yesterday, so I looked at my emails today. I sent out a couple more messages. I had this idea that I wanted to do for my birthday. And there's this item I want to get. I think I'm going to pick it up. I think I'm going to use it. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to use it. It's going to be something that I'm going to be using pretty often. Or my idea was to basically use a scene that I already have and just utilize that scene, which might end up being what I end up doing anyways, because I just spent $60 on stuff from the store that I needed. I needed spicy candy for the event. I also needed, what's it called? I needed my vitamins, so I grabbed my vitamins. Both bottles because I was out on both of them. And I grabbed something else. What did I grab? Something for coffee. Coffee creamer? Filters. Coffee filters. I got coffee filters. Hi, Killer. Hi, Tahapid. Have a good lurk. Busy as always, right? But Ako, you wanted an Ara Ara. Okay, you wanted a classic Ara Ara. Ako, イコンだね。大好きだよ。あらあら。Thank you for the redeem. Hi, Killer. How are you? How's your night? Ivan says, I think I'm just going to say hi today. I ate too much for dinner and I'm really... Honestly, that's so fair. That's surreal. Hi, Sage. I like that I don't even have to see your name in chat. I just see the little purple flower appear in my hair and I know it's you. And I'm like, oh, Sage is here. And Killer, thank you so much for the Killer Queen. Thank you so much for the follow. I accept. Hi, Chef. Hi, Pinoy. Welcome in. Had a wonderful day. I did. Let's see. Scroll back down. Hi, Sage. Hi, Chef. I'm good. How are you? I'm good. Just basically talking about what I did for today. Like I said, I answered emails. I feel like I did a bunch of stuff, mostly answered emails, and I kind of went back and forth answering emails and responding to some messages on Discord, and then like I said, I had this really cool idea that I wanted to do, right, for the event, for the event in August. I have this idea because we always do a just chatting segment, and I don't have like a just chatting scene, right? I have one where it's just me, where it's just like you and me guys, right? But I don't have one of like, if I'm gonna do a just chatting thing like that with what's the word, with my words, I don't have like a just chatting scene for like group things like that. That's the word. I don't have like a just chatting scene for group things. So I was thinking of picking up a new scene or using something that I already have. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably just gonna use a scene I already have because it's super cute. We used it yesterday. It was the balcony scene with the lighthouse in the background. And my idea was to pick up a couple items to kind of like scatter around on the like the foreground of it to kind of make it a little bit more full, if that makes sense, you know. But that's my idea, and I was looking at that all up until like I hit start stream, and I was like, oh, I need a stream. I need a stream. It's streaming time. But then I also set up the 2 new items that we purchased yesterday in the shop. You guys helped me pick out 2 new outfits. So we have the black dress, I'm calling it the Demoness, and then I have the off-shoulder one that Strikewood really liked. So I set both of those up. Hi Vera! Hi Jim! The music is so peaceful. Yeah. The music is called Till Next Time by Jake Mercy. Till Next Time by Jake Mercy. He has it on lo-fi. I think it's called like lo-fi.com or something like that. But if you look it up, you could probably find it. It's a really good song. I like it. Music is comfy. Yeah, I love the music. Bum, 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 bum. It's like happy and cozy. It just makes me think like I could probably fall asleep to this. Bum, 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 bum. Good way to be resourceful. Yeah, that way I'm not purchasing anything new that I think. There's just one thing I wanted to get. Let me show you guys. The one thing I do want to get, like 100%, I'm going to pick this up. It's only like $3. But it is so pretty. Bum, 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 bum. I have to scroll down and find it. Give me a second. It just has a good variety of things to kind of, like I said, to kind of like have and scatter around. Oh, but that one's really cute too. And it has lemon. I was thinking of getting this. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys this really quick. I was thinking of getting, oh, you guys can't see that. Bum, 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 bum. I was thinking of getting this, right? It has some really cute, like things to kind of like spread around, right? There's the palm tree with the seashells. It has the plant. It has some really pretty like glass bottles. It's only like $3, and I was thinking of getting this, right? Because I already have like a really nice background, right? I love the background. I like the table asset that it comes with, but I kind of want to add some stuff like to the scene. But you talking shit about me already? No. I'm talking about the outfit that you liked yesterday. I set that up today so I could change it to it. But I was thinking of getting that. Only $3. What a steal, right? It's $3, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 items. 14 items for $3. They've also, like, when I saw when they posted this was like 8 years ago, like six or 8 years ago, something like that. Let me double check it. 2000, so 6 years ago. So it's a little on the older side. That's probably why it's so inexpensive. And the other thing I was thinking of getting, because I really like lemon. so that we can have some new little lemon drinkies and some snackies to go onto the table. I thought that'd be a cute little like addition to the, like, if I do a collab night, right? Or not if, sorry, when I do a collab night and we do like a just chatting thing, I have like a scene set up specifically for those things, right, for that night. And then we have like the lemon, we have the background, and I was like, I really want to do that. And this one, the lemon thing, the lemon one, this one comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different items. And this one is, oh, this one's $2. This one's only $2. Should I just get it now? Should I just get it now? She's talking shit. No, I'm not talking shit. If I was, you would know. Wait, no, the whole set is only $8, and it comes with happy birthday balloons. Should I get it? Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get the whole thing. We're getting all of it. Fuck it. We're doing all of it. We're gonna get all of it right now. It's only $7. It's only $7. Right now. I'm getting it this very second. Right now. Right now. You guys are just making me purchase things. Hi, Finn. Welcome in. Hi, Pinoy. Do it. Do it. Hi, Mad Dog. Welcome in. Lemon. I love lemon. 6 for the price of 2. Right? You can't even get $6 worth of stuff. Right? You can't. Lemon. Okay, done. We purchased it. It's done. It's done skis. It's done rune skis. We got it. We picked it up. It's ours now. Lemon. Should we? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna download it, and I'm gonna put the. Here we go. And it goes into scenes, accessories. Birthday mega pack? I have no idea what that is. Because I really want to, like, I opened it. Lemon extract. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna do something silly. I'm gonna do something silly, goofy, haha. But hey, my dog, how are you? Hi, Finn. How are you, puppy? Hi. Love bloomers. Bloomers. What do you mean bloomers? What's bloomers? The balloons will be perfect for the birthday too. Exactly, $7 for balloons. So, well, it's for, like, it's not real balloons. It's not real Lizzie's balloons. It's an asset. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys the keki. Where is the thing that I need? There it is, image. Lemon. Scenes. Accessories. Lemon pound cake. I want lemon pound cake. Oh, the keki is big. The keki is real. The keki is here. The keki is part of us. We are all keki. Yay! Yay! Lemon! For the strumming? Exactly. Exactly. For the strumming. Perfect. That says on Helium, you deserve all the digital balloons. I've never really been a big fan of, like, big balloons. Like real balloons, I've never really been a fan of them. It's just kind of like, they are what they are. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm weird about that. Batola. But, like, I think when it comes down to it, I've never... Okay, so I have this thing, right? Things that I know are going to die, I always get upset about, right? Like during graduation or during, you know, big events, if somebody gives me flowers, like I love flowers. But if it's a bouquet of flowers, I know that they're gonna die, and then I get upset, and I'm just like, well, now I have to take care of this thing until it literally dies. You know what I mean? And it feels sad, man. Hi, J Bear. You know, Sari's a good bot. I'll be fine. What happened? What did Sari bot do? Oh, you married Sari bot? You know what? You're so real. Sari bot is so sweet. They're so sweet. J-Bear, you want a kiss? Okay. I was like, I think I need to add a couple of kisses or something by now, don't I? That's fine. I go for potted plants and flowers instead. Gives them a chance to survive. Yes! I would love a potted plant. Even if it's just like a little flower potted plant thing, like at least it'll last a bit of time, right? J-Bear. We'll do the green one. Oh. And I have to adjust what layer it's on now. Okay. Oh. There you go, Jaber. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you, thank you. And did somebody resub? Oh. How dare you. Come to my... Why did the lemon... Why did lemon not... You know what? That's fine. The lemon cake just decided to go with me when you did the kabedon. Thank you for the kabedon. And Gustav! Hi Gustav, thank you so much for the resub. That was funny. I mean, I don't mind. Lemon wanted to go with us. But let me grab a kiss for Gustav. Good. I'm gonna give you the pink one. I'm gonna give you pink. Why would you poke me? Out of all the times you choose now to poke me, that's crazy. There you go, Gustav. Thank you for the resub. New lemon. Wait, what else came with that package? Because I just grabbed it because it said like fresh stuff, and I was just like, sweet. Oh, okay. This is by Edizo. Let's rename this. Edizo. Lemon banana. Banana. Okay, lemon. Let me grab the banana. We're gonna download that one. We're gonna put it in the Edizo. There's Edizo. And then the balloons, I'm gonna put those in my birthday folder. Because otherwise I'm not gonna know where they are. Birthday event, birthday balloon. Balloon. No! I clicked the wrong thing. Balloon. There we go. Much better. Okay, we got it. We saved it. We did it. I'm closing the shop. I'm closing the shop. Hi, Parrot. Same. I try watching videos on how to make them last longer, even make them into bookmarks. So when I get like roses, I know roses, you can kind of like hang them upside down and then make them into potpourri sachets. And I've done that before. Like I have rose potpourri sachets that I've had since like for 5-6 years now. And I usually keep them in like my underwear drawer, my sock drawer. I hang them up in the closet, right? So that my clothes kind of have like a nice light little like rosy scent. But you can't do that with all flowers. Some flowers just don't really dry and smell good still, you know? But bookmarks, that's a good one. Hi AJ, I'm gonna be lurking since I'm on duty, but take a flower till I can drop by later. Thank you for the flower. Yummy. I love flowers. Very tasty. It's like I was the lemon cake. You were the lemon cake. My son is the lemon cake. Wait, where's the lemon cake now? Oh, right, because I moved it. Right, hold on, I'm stupid. Lemon cake. Lemon cakey. There we go. Okay, Lemon's back. Lemon's back. I'm good at picking when you're adding kisses. It's true. It's true. Did the poke not go through? Did the poke not go through? Because if it didn't, let me know, and I'll go ahead and I'll run it through for you. Hi, Jacoby. The fact that flowers die, though, if you consider what they're impermanent, it makes you realize that we need to appreciate the beauty and special things. They're good right now, but won't be forever. True. I don't know. It always makes me sad still, right? Like, I like receiving flowers. I'm not gonna say I don't, right? I like receiving flowers. I like receiving sunflowers and roses and daisies, because I could take those flowers and dry them and make them into sachets to go into like my drawers, right? But certain flowers, like I said, don't really dry well, and then that's when I feel the most sad. Hi, Parrot. Welcome in, beautiful. How are you? Been nursing a bad toothache all day. Yeah, with toothache, what happened? Just gonna lurk in bed from smooth sailing. Okay, dry dog, no worries. Never thought about that. Yeah, you could do that with roses and sunflowers and daisies. You can. Carnations, kinda, but they don't look very pretty after they've dried. They kind of get like a really brown coloring to them. Lavender, you can do that to lavender. Lavender has a really nice scent once it's dried. Hi, Kay. Welcome in. I'm sweet and sour. Are you? So you're like sweet and sour chicken? We're all a little ooped. Just a bit. Just sometimes. Boop. Hi, Rex. Welcome in. How are you? Hello. Hi, Fubuki. Welcome in. But the question is, what is your favorite flower? Favorite flower ever? I will always love jasmine and sunflowers and lily of the valley. And what are they called? Ladybanks and ladybanks. I love ladybanks. Black-eyed Susans are very pretty. Gosh, there's so many flowers. Okay, hold on. There's this one. I think it's called a ceres. A ceres flower. It's on a cactus. A night blooming ceres. Yes, night blooming ceres. Cereus. I think they're beautiful flowers. They have like a yellow center. They kind of look like stars. The petals are white. They are so pretty. Here, I'll show you what a night blooming ceres looks like. This is what a night blooming ceres looks like. Isn't this just such a pretty flower? Lemon. Lemon just decides to just be there. It's just like, well, I'm here now. I mean, I guess so. Front page Lemon. I know, right? Lemon, what the fuck are you doing? Lemon. Okay. That's crazy. Okay. Here we go. You know what? I'll do this. That way Lemon can still be on the table. They'll just be out of the way. But this is what a night blooming ceres flower looks like. It's very pretty. They, like I said, they have white petals, and they have like this really pretty like yellow kind of like petaling behind it, and then the middle is yellow. Sometimes they have like pink, a little bit of pink on the sides, but they're absolutely gorgeous flowers. From what I know, they don't really have a scent though. That's gorgeous, right? But this is a night blooming ceres, another flower. Kitty, hi, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Hi. Melody raid. What is that melody? Hi. I've never even played the game, but I know that meme. Anyways, hi, Kitty. How are you, beautiful? Welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome to Favorite Cafe. I'm Mukia. I'm a Siren with a necrotic affliction, and I run the cafe. If you guys would like a drink, we could do tea, boba, coffee, hot cocoa. However, the cake is extra. How was your stream? How are you too? I'm good. I'm good. We were talking about flowers. One of my favorite flowers is called the night blooming ceres, which is this one right here. It's on a cactus. It's white, and it has like a yellow center, and then it has these really pretty like pink, purpley kind of colors. Sometimes they're like yellowy white like this, but they're just absolutely gorgeous flowers. One of my other favorite is called a Lady Banks. Lady Banks rose. This is what a Lady Banks rose bush looks like. It is little tiny white roses on a vine that crawls. Sometimes they're kind of yellowish like this. The one that we have in my backyard is white. It was good, but a bit hungry, but it's okay. You're doing some ASMR, feeling happy and relaxed. I want to show love. Thank you, kitty. If you need to raid and run, I completely understand. But before you go, what is your favorite flower? It could either be because of the scent or the color. If you had to say that you had one favorite flower, what would your favorite flower be? What's your favorite flower? Let's say like top 3, if you can't think of just one. I love roses. Fair. Roses are very pretty. Classic flower. Hi, 9. Rhododendrons. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I love jasmine. I love jasmine too. Rhododendrons. Yes, these ones are gorgeous as well. I agree. But thank you so much, Kitty, for the raid. Like I said, if you do need to raid and run, you're more than welcome to. If you need to raid and run, I understand. But if you want to lurk and hang out, you're more than welcome to. Just make sure to do after stream care. It smells good. I think the closest flower on earth to my sacred symbol would be the Plenorma orvelium. It's a type of flower known as the princess flower. But rhododendrons are beautiful. I like them kind of in this pinky color. But look at this like dark reddish pink. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous flowers. No, the yellow. Hotte yellow rhododendrons. So pretty. So pretty. Let's see. Alright, let's take a look at this one. These ones are so pretty too, and they have that like spindly kind of center. Like how this one has like spindlies in the center. Those are beautiful. I agree. I've always grown in front of my grandma's house, so they remind me of theirs, so I love them. That is so real. That's so fair. Hold on, I'm gonna have to like search it really quick, which might dox me a bit, so I'm gonna hide my screen just for a second so I can remember. Cactus with there's this one cactus that my grandma always had in her yard, and when we were kids we would go to the cactus and like it had these flowers on it, and you can actually like if you ate or like licked the bottom of the flower. Let me see. Okay, flowering cactus. She hated it when we did this because it would like then she couldn't see the flowers and she couldn't enjoy them, right? Because we were constantly pulling off the blooms and like eating them. But that's the flower that always makes me think of my grandma. And I remember what they look like, but I can't remember what they're called. But my grandma would get upset. She would get so mad at us. I can't find it. I'm literally looking up like flowering cactus and I cannot see it. Ooh, that's a beautiful flower. It looks like a lotus. Hi, Fred. Welcome in. I think birds of paradise are just some of the prettiest flowers. Same. I think it's a grandma thing. Is it? Wait, rhododendrons aren't for you, for your grandma, Gustav? Fine, you did know that. Wait, what happened with Nine? Hi, Nine. Welcome in. I think birds of paradise. Birds of paradise. That's another beautiful flower. Here, I'll show back my screen. Birds of paradise. Hi, Dan. Welcome in. Welcome in. Sent unk alert. Oh no, not the unk alert. Hi Dan, how are you? Welcome in, welcome in. How's your night? Thank you so much for the gift on YouTube. Hope you're doing well. But these are birds of paradise flower. The birds of paradise flower are so pretty. No. Why would you open that? Why would you open that? Da, 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 da. So pretty. I like these. Well, that's a sponsored one. Can't click on the sponsored ones. Birds of paradise flower. There we go. Perfect. I have unfortunate news after a friend's trying to break up. Oh no! With your Tomodachi life, living the dream, it was fun while it lasted, but it will be getting repetitive. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Oh my gosh, Delphinium? Delphinium. Delphinium. Ah, yes. Okay. Oh god, these beautiful. I love the way they tower on top of each other. These ones are pretty. And forget-me-nots. Not super common, so dahlias are my third favorite. A good forget-me-not. Chili. Hi Dan, thank you so much for the gift. Thank you for the chili. How are you? What was that flower from before? It looked so cool. The flower from before. This one? It's a blooming cactus. Some type of blooming cactus. Tuscan backyard cactus. It's a Tuscan backyard cactus. I'm the unk? No, over on YouTube. On YouTube. I'm talking to YouTube, Gustav. Hi, Dad. Welcome in. Those are sick too, right? Okay, so we had birds of paradise, delphinium, and then you said forget-me-nots. These are so pretty. They're cute little blue flowers, and I like how they. That's a pretty representation. I like how they, they have a lot of green with the blue, a little bit of white and yellow. Those are pretty. Yes, what? I always await the next game, Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. First day of August. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. Hi, Error. Welcome in. That's another pretty one. Right? Oh my gosh, there's so many pretty flowers. A Sega lily? A Sega lily? Is that an actual flower? Just in case, because I don't know what that looks like, and I might come up something that I've never seen before. Oh, okay. So it's pulling up like, what are they called? Oh, 1L. L-I-L. I'm saying it's pulling up some kind of character. But here we go. This is what a Sega lily looks like. These ones are so cool. These ones are beautiful. I love that, like, that triangle kind of shape of them. Look at these. They kind of make me think of California poppies. What about Himalayan blue poppy? That's my favorite. A Himalayan blue poppy. Yeah, we could take a look at those. I've never seen those. Aren't they? And they're yellow. Hello. Hello. These ones are gorgeous. Wait, is this real? Oh, it's like a painting. Okay. I was like, why does it look like crazy? Like beautiful but crazy. How pretty. The Sago lily of Utah. The official state flower of Utah. That's actually really cool. Wait. There was oh, look at that. I love a beautiful, like, watercolor like that. So pretty. And then you said Himalayan blue poppy. Ooh. Oh, look Look at that blue. Oh my god, that is a beautiful blue. Oh my gosh. How pretty is that? That is so pretty. I was born in Utah. It's a state plant. It's a beautiful flower. I like that one. The sago lily. Fun fact, the root is edible, but it's a protected species. Yes, that's so fair. Especially because, like, I'm assuming that they can't really be, like, cultivated, right? Because it's like a wildflower. And a lot of the time, wildflowers, you can't cultivate them, from what I understand, right? The root is edible, but it's a protected species. I like daisies and peonies. Peonies, oh my gosh. Yes, the blue of these Himalayan ones are so gorgeous. And then you said a peony. Yes. These ones, a lot of the more like East Asian designs that I really like embroidery, they include peony, which is such a beautiful flower. I like the layers of the petals and how they have like a light on them, like at the ends, and then dark, and like the ones like this, where it's like two-tone with the yellow and then the pink. Ugh. Peonies are absolutely beautiful. So look at these ones. That like kind of reddishy, kind of pinky color. So pretty. Apparently, like gemstones, there are birth month flowers. There are, yeah. I don't know what mine. We should look those up. Let's look those up really quick. Let's look it up. Hold on. Let me find a website. A safe website. Birth month flower. Because I kind of also think like it's gonna depend a lot, right, on which version, right? Because I know there's different flowers for, sorry, not flowers, different gems for the month 2. Da, 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 da. Yeah, here's a good one. Can I make this like just a really big picture? Kinda. Okay, here we go. So here's this one, right? Because this one shows both months, right? This one shows both months. Because I know I have heard poppy for August for my month, but a lot of them were also saying gladiolus. I was like, how do I say that? Can't think of peonies without thinking about the memes. Saffron flowers are pretty. Saffron flowers are very pretty, but you can eat them too, which is kind of cool. The abyssal feline. Thank you for the follow. Hi. Birth month flowers according to Lego and the Old Farmer's Almanac. Daffodils, jonquil, and cherry blossoms. And yours said yours is what month? What month is yours? Have you ever seen Lavender Farm? Yes. Where I live, not far away, there's a beautiful lavender farm. March, okay. So March, it's saying daffodil. Yes, daffodil and sakura. If you guys are born in January, snowdrops and carnations. If you are in February, violet and iris. March is daffodil and sakura. April is daisies and tulips. May is lilies and hawthorn. June is honeysuckle and roses. July is larkspur and water lily. August is poppy and gladiolus. September is morning glory and asters. October, marigold and cosmos. November, peony and chrysanthemum. December is holly and narcissus. Beautiful flowers. I could definitely see poppies. I would wear poppies. I love poppies. Wisteria trellis. Wisteria. I love a good wisteria plant. Oh, what's June? June is honeysuckle and roses. Honeysuckle and roses. My birthday is actually going to be next week. So your birthday is in July, which is larkspur and water lily. Oh, water lily. I love a water lily. Water lilies are so pretty. I think they just have a beautiful, like, bloom, you know? So, so pretty. Oof. Okay, but you said a wisteria trellis. Okay. Let me go back. Close this. Wisteria trellis. Oh, yeah. There's this one. Hold on. It's in... I forget the name of the park. But this one, I love a good wisteria trellis. Where, like, you can sit under, right? And you just see the dripping wisteria. So freaking pretty. I think wisteria has... It adds a certain, like, mysticism to the area, right? Jimmy plant. They're so cute with the fluffy heart-shaped leaves, but don't touch. That's amazing. Isn't it? There's this, I believe... Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I remember seeing... It's like this huge... It is a giant wisteria tree in Japan. It is so big. It's a 200... Here we go. It's a 200-year-old wisteria tree. Like, look at that. Let me see if I can get a better picture. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a better picture. Oh, Facebook. Ew. No, go away. Let's see. It's in the Ashikaga Flower Park in the Tochigi Prefecture. Okay. Wisteria. Here it is. Okay. Dum, dum, dum. Hold on, let me... Dum, dum. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Okay, well that's just like a bunch of different plants from it. I think this is going to be our best bet. Wisteria. Okay, let me see if I can find it. There it is, 200-year-old wisteria tree. It is so big, it literally has to be held up by like a trellis system. Like, if you look, you see like all the bars, right? You can see all the bars over here to like hold up this tree. Let me do this. Hold on. Don't take me to some weird site. Facebook again. But look how beautiful this is. Like, how gorgeous that looks, you know? Look at that. Wow, right? Oh, look at this. This is all from one tree, how the branches just keep like branching out. The trunk is so gorgeous. It is. Hi, Benchy Bunny. Facebook is evil. It is. I hate Facebook. I've never had a good time on Facebook. So I actually deleted it. Facebook. Hi, Misha. Surely it taste wouldn't hurt. No, I would not eat it if I were you. That makes me happy. Oh, yeah, no. Of course not. Gorgeous, right? The water reflecting perfectly too. Right, this is just a gorgeous picture in general, right? Then a valley. Villainy, you're right. I quit Facebook years ago. Me too. Rid of mine as well, proud to say. I got rid of mine so long ago. So much of cotton candy. Don't eat it! You can tell me you don't see it. I mean, yes I could. Hi Michael! Welcome in. Let me see if we can see any more. Yeah, this one. Hyoko. Okay, let me see if I can find any more pictures. Wisteria tree creating a living purple dream. 200-year-old wisteria. You know what we should do? We should go to TikTok and see if we can find any of this plant, of this tree. We don't really look at TikTok too often. Okay, let's see. Wisteria. Hold on. 200-year-old Japan. Okay. It's a lot of the same video, to be honest, but let me show you guys this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. So pretty. 200 years old. This looks fake. Oh no, it's real. What the heck? Oh, pink and white flowers. So pretty. Spanish moss creates so much atmosphere. It does. You see Spanish moss all over in like the south. You don't really see it where I am too much. Does love flowers. I mean, same. It smells so good. I don't think it lets you go that close to the trunk of the tree anymore. Yeah, see, a lot of these are like literally the same picture. Oh my god. Okay, so when are we going to Japan, guys? When are we doing? When are we making this trip? We're making this trip soon, right? Like, one day. One freaking day. I'll pack right now. Dude, I wish. They do make it into ice cream. They do! Oh, I mean, I guess that would make sense. Show Will? Show Will? Who's Will? Who's Will? To the world of Demon Slayer? Oh, wait, no, hold on. Okay. How so? Explain to me. How is this Demon Slayer? But isn't that pretty? With the wisteria and then the hanging, like the hanging lights. Scales? Scales? What do you mean scales, Dan? How pretty. I wish I'd want to go to Japan. So fair, so real. Be broke coming home. Me too. Look at that. That is the trunk of the tree. The oldest wisteria in Hokkaido. This is the one that's in Hokkaido. The purple isn't as purple, it's more of like a white, but it's beautiful. Okay, I think they touched up this photo because like there's a lot of blue on that stone. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't mind when they do that so that you can really see the colors. Beautiful. Okay. Enough wisteria. I think we are wisteria-did out. Japan is expensive, nice to vacation, but terrible to live in. I mean, I think it also kind of really depends on the person, right? I think it really depends on the person, because some people are just like, oh, I would never want to live in California, or I'd never want to live in Texas, I'd never want to live in Kentucky or whatever, but people that live there, they know what it's like to actually live there, so it's a little different from visiting, you know? We spent so much time looking at flowers. And you know what? I'm not even mad. But really quick, before we do the ads, which are going to start in about 30 seconds, I need a favor from you all. We, over at House Obscurus, are trying to get a team name. Like, it's not team name, sorry, team community name. So if you guys can do me a favor, go ahead and check out this Twitter post that we made a couple days ago and give us suggestions for a team name. If you guys can give us a suggestion for team names, we're going to take the best 5 and we're going to make a poll, and we're going to use the poll to cast a vote so that we can have like a team name. Like I call you guys the Sweetlings, right? So David calls his community the Gems. But we want something that'll be specifically for the team itself. But look like ads are running. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch everything on over so we can do the just reading portion of tonight's stream. And we'll be right back. So give me about 3 minutes and we'll do some reading tonight. I'll be right back. Then good morning. I've been asleep. Well, good morning, Banshee. Yeah, good morning. Hopefully you had a good sleep. Alright, and it looks like we are mostly prepared. I wanted to show off the new outfits that we got yesterday. I didn't set them all up. I set up 2 of them. So let me go ahead and do you guys want to see? Strike, this one's yours. This is the one that you really wanted, Strike. So are you there? Strike. Strike. If he's not even there, am I going to show this one off? Okay. I'm back. Welcome back. So this is the one that Strike really wanted. So there you go. Have a little. Here you go. Have a little tummy. A little tummy included. Oh, never mind. You're here. This is the dress, one of the dresses that we picked up yesterday. I only have it in a couple colors, okay? I changed out the gray color for blue. It's kind of a bluish green. Ma'am? Yes, sir? What? This is the one that you were like, I really like that one. So we set that one up. That color is very fitting. Right? This one's very pretty. I like this one. The green one, the greenish blue one. Right? I really like this one. And then we also have this in black. I personally like the bluish color. But I was thinking tonight we could use this one to do the reading stream, or we can do the other one. Let me get that one ready. Let me just get that one ready. Okay, so give me a second. Here we go. This one I think you guys would really like. So let me just really quick. This one I think you guys would really, really like for a couple different reasons. Cuter with or without the iPad. This one I think you guys would really like for a few different reasons. So I went a little ham on this one. With the way that everything looks. Golden mighty. Hi Yoda, welcome in. I would wear that. Honestly, so fair, so real. The black was more of a gray, so I had to make it a little bit darker. But so cute. Not ideal for reading. You don't think so? You don't think this one's ideal for reading? I don't know. Hi Thatcher. Hi Thick. Very beautiful. This one, I like this one too. This one's very pretty. Hi Dry Dog. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan, for the chili. For an outfit like this, in all seriousness, honestly, right? It's so pretty. It's just like a long dress, or it could even be a short dress, right? It's pretty long, though. I would say it's pretty long. But I was thinking, because we're reading Frankenstein, right? And it is a film about a monster. I thought we could use this one to do some reading tonight. What do you guys think? Do you guys feel like reading like this? Or do you guys want the other one? How long is the other dress? It's the same length. It's the same length. It goes to about, like, past the knees. Pay attention to what is being read. Garfield. Hi, Garfield. Here. So you guys can get a better look. There we go. Got little horns and everything. I figured if we're going to do it, might as well go full on, right? Second dress hands down. This one? You like this one? This one for sure. Hi, Garfield. How are you? How's your night? Yes? You guys like this one? I like the really long skirt it comes into. It's very pretty. I agree. Okay, we'll do a quick poll. I'm gonna do a quick poll really quick. New poll. Okay. Alright, you guys will have... I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to vote. You can use your channel points to cast your vote. So go ahead. Go ahead, cast your vote now. You guys will have 1 minute to cast your vote. Hi, Scarix. Welcome in. Because it's gothic and I'm a goth. Honestly, so fair. So real. Yes, but in yellow also. The white one? Yeah, the white. It's more of like a cream color, not yellow. Definitely good outfit for Mondays, cozy reading. I'm for the other one, personally. Ruffles and the horns. I tried to use the horns that it came with, but they didn't really attach to my head properly, so I had to use different horns. I had to use these ones, which I think they work out. I think these ones work out very well. Hi, James. What was the other outfit? You want to see the other outfit? Okay, let me do this really quick. I have to do this in a very particular way. Okay. The other outfit was this one. This was the other outfit. Demon at 63 to 7. Okay, I see you. I see what chat. Losing their minds, and I'm the calm one. Gothic, and I'm a simp for goss. Honestly, fair. Spend points for this poll. Now you're good, James. Okay, so then that means next week on Monday, or maybe Friday, maybe when we play Little Nightmares on Friday, we will use this outfit because I do want to use this one this week. Hi, I'm good. How are you? Don't just spend points. No, you're good. Taking your clothes off. The other one is better. You like the other one? Classy. I like it. This is like for going out on a fancy dinner date. You think this is fancy? To me, this is casual, comfortable. Like, this is not fancy to me. When you wear them, I think chat a little indecisive. Weakness for you. Particular way to Twitch doesn't get mad. Okay. There's a clear favorite between the two. I mean, I haven't lost my mind yet. Yet, Captain. Okay. Darren Farrell. Comfort casual. Yeah. I like how much the tummy Gotham has. Okay. Let me go ahead and switch back. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get comfortable. And we will... Oh, hold on. I messed up. Okay. No, it's that one and that one. Okay, that should be it. Yes, there we go. And I'm not wearing my robe. There. Oh, and I lost your guys' 2 kisses. Okay, let me grab those really quick. Gustav, I think this was your color. If not, it is now. And then one more for Bear. Oh. I thought that was on me. Okay, there we go. We'll just put this right here. Because I don't think I can put it... Oh, well, I guess I can. Okay, there you go. Perfect. I'm traumatized for a split second. Honest enough to say, no, you're good. You're good. This one is coffee date and the goth one is dinner date. Hi, Eris! How are you, lovely? How's your night? Hi, Bacon! How are you? All sold out of kisses. I shouldn't be. The kisses should not be sold out. It's 500 bits, 1 sub. Where is it? Yeah, no, they're there. They're there. Alright. We're gonna be doing some Frankenstein tonight. Can we see the shoes? There's no shoes. There's no shoes. It literally stops at the knee. I've not been able to form words since that happened. I love the horns. Yeah, they're cute, right? They add just a little something. Because the toothache. Men's, okay. Oh, true. Men's, yes. Men's, of course. Sleep again. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. Okay, let me get nice and comfortable so that we can do the reading. Is that about right? Actually, a little more. There we go. We're gonna do some reading tonight. Tonight we're gonna be getting closer, or reading more of Frankenstein. I need to get my book out. Book? There you are. Oh, not me. I don't want to move. There we go. The book does need to move. Oh no. What if? It's still attached to me. No! Okay, I see. I see, I see. Okay, if I move over here... Okay, let me do this really quick. And then put myself back into position. Much better. Alright, there we go. Got my book and everything. Okay. Have a good stream. Have a good night. Rest well. Thank you for the head pat. I mean, for the flowers. Have a good night, Golden. If you date fit. From the first television in the black and white film era. Faithful to the novel. It's still a good movie, right? It's just when it comes down to it being accuracy, it's not the best. Lower the book further, but then you won't see it. If I move the book down any further, you're not gonna see the book. You could always raise it higher, I guess. Like that. Well, actually, if I make it a bit bigger, and And that, there we go. Actually, that works. I think that works. There we go. Uppies? Uppies? What do you mean uppies? Hi, Sid. Stick myself in, but work tomorrow. Like, have a good night, James. You have good sleep. Book uppies? Oh. True, book uppies. Alright, we are reading Frankenstein. So if you guys would like to join us on the story, there is the link pinned in chat. Hi, Spookies. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you? How's your night? Hopefully you're doing good. Drink some more water. I feel like I owe you guys a couple redeems. Let me just make sure. Clear these out. Jacoby, thank you for being first. Belver, thank you for being third and second. Golden, thank you for the cake. Let's see. Oh, okay, nope, I did. That is all the redeems. Perfect, sounds good. Alright, so where we were last time, wanted to have a lurk on here as well as Twitch. Have a good night, Lloyd. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. We are reading Frankenstein, like I said. The book is pinned to the top of the page, and we are on chapter 10. So if you guys would like to join us, what's happened so far is Victor Frankenstein is admitting to somebody. Set floating card. Thank you, Dan. He's writing to, oh gosh, what was his name? Robert Walton. And telling him basically how he came to be in the position that he is, as in he is alone and destitute in the middle of the North Pole, right? So Victor Frankenstein was first and foremost a scientist. He tried to use alchemy and some other means to, to further his studies. Unfortunately, alchemy does not exist in the way that people are thinking, right? You can't take a thing of lead and make it into gold. And so he decided somehow through natural science and theoretical science, he wanted to create life itself. So with over the course of 2 years, he built and put together a being of 8 foot tall creature, brought it to life, and basically abandoned this being that he created. And when he did that, on the day that happened, his friend happened to show up at the same time. So his friend carried him off basically to finish off their school. 8 foot tall, dark and handsome. I mean, if you like the way that they describe the way the monster look is actually incredibly handsome, with thin black lips, pearly white teeth, flowing luscious black hair, but skin so tight on the muscles, and that you can basically see the muscles and the veins through the skin. Not through, sorry, over the skin, you can see where they lay on the skin. As well as a sickly yellow, watery eyes, and sunken to almost be non-existent, if that makes sense. There was an art piece that we saw. Let me see. Book. Book accurate Frankenstein. There was an art piece that we saw, and we're like, you know what? That kind of resembles the appearance of the monster. As described in the book. I have to find the Twitter post. I should just download the picture. Once I find the Twitter post, I'm going to download the pictures so that we can kind of like show it off. Because this is like the third time we've shown off the picture. I was in my Discord. I put it in my Discord. That's right. Okay, if I go here... from myself in general. Here we go. It was literally last week. It wasn't that far ago. It was not that long ago. Here we go. So this is what we were like. This is probably close to what the monster would have looked like. Right? Oh, you guys can't really see. We're like, this is pretty accurate to the description with the tight skin, the thin lips, the yellow eyes, the watery, like beautiful, but at the same time, not quite 100% like human, I guess, right? So we're like, still would. But anyways. Well, this is Frankenstein, not Edgar Allan Poe, but yes. So after he saw this creation of his, oh right, I need to download this really quick. Save. I'm just gonna put this into my pictures file. There we go. And he runs away. 2 years later, he returns home. So he spends, a year later, he returns home, right? And that's when he finds out that his younger brother is murdered, and one of their trusted maids of the house she confesses that she did it, but she says, like later on, she says that she didn't. But so many people in the village basically did not believe her that she goes, even if I could prove my innocence, I was already convicted. There was nothing I could do other than just admit that it was me, even though we learn that she was not the one that murdered the younger brother. And so Victor, Frankenstein himself, he's the only one that believes that the girl, I think her name was, what was her name? I already forget her name. That the maid didn't do it, because on his way going into town, he saw his creation. He calls the creation a wretch, a demon, a monster, a creature, right? So he sees his creation in the hills running away. And so after the sentencing of the maid and she is put to the guillotine, he decides to basically go into those hills to try and find this creation that he made. So that's where we are. We are at the point where he goes into the hills. Duchess Katie, thank you for the follow. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a minute before we settle down for the book. Everybody, if you can do me a favor, I want you to sit up and tilt your head to the left. Now tilt your head to the right. Thank you, Dan. Look up. And look down. Lucy, go to bed. Sit up and drink some Mola. Okay. We are now on chapter 10. My neck cracked. Good. Good. It means you need to exercise your neck more. Icon Knight, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. While I'm reading, I will not be looking at chat, so you can use this time to just relax, close your eyes, get comfortable, and I will read to you. Chapter 10. I spent the following day roaming through the valley. I stood beside the sources of the Avernin, which take their rise in a glacier that, with slow pace, is advancing down from the summit of the hill to barricade the valley. The abrupt sides of this mountain were before me. The icy walls of the glacier overhung me. A few shattered pines were scattered around, and the solemn silence of the glorious presence chamber of imperial nature was broken only by the brawling waves or the fall of some vast fragment. The thunder sound of the avalanche or the crackling reverberated along the mountains of the acclimated ice, which through the silent working of immutable laws was ever and anon rent and torn, as if it had been but a plaything in their hands. These sublime and magnificent scenes afforded me the greatest consolation that I was capable of receiving. They elevated me from the littleness of feeling, and although they did not remove my grief, they subdued and tranquilized it. In some degree, also, they diverted my mind from the thoughts over which I had brooded for the past month. I retired to rest at night, my slumbers, as it were, waited on and ministered to by the semblance of grand shapes which I had contemplated through the day. They congregated around me, the unstained, snowy mountain top, the glittering pinnacle, the pine woods, the ragged grave ravine, the eagle soaring amidst the clouds. They all gathered round me and bade me be at peace. Where had they fled when the next morning, when I awoke? All the soul-inspiring fled with sleep. The dark melancholy clouded every thought. The rain was pouring in torrents, and thick mists hid the summits of the mountains, so that I even saw not the faces of those mighty friends. Still, I would penetrate their misty veil and seek them in their cloudy retreats. What were rain and storm to me? My mule was brought to the door, and I resolved to ascend to the summit of Montenvert. I remembered the effect that the view of the tremendous and ever-moving glacier had produced upon the mind when I first saw it. It had then filled me with sublime ecstasy that gave wings to the soul and allowed it to soar from the obscure world to light and joy. The sight of the awful and majestic in nature had indeed always the effect of solemnizing my mind and causing me to forget the passing cares of life. I determined to go without a guide, for I was well acquainted with the path, and the presence of another would destroy the solitary grandeur of this scene. The ascent is precipitous, but the path is cut into continual and short windings, which enable you to surmount the perpendicularity of the mountain. It is a scene terrifically desolate. In 1,000 spots, the traces of the winter avalanche may be perceived, where trees lie broken and strewn on the ground, some entirely destroyed, others bent, leaning upon the jutting rocks of the mountain, or transversely upon the other trees. The path, as you ascend higher, is intersected by ravines of snow, which of snow, down which stones continually roll from above. One of them is particularly dangerous, as the slightest sound, even as such as even speaking in a loud voice, produces a concussion, of air sufficient to draw destruction upon the head of the speaker. The pines are not tall or luxuriant, but they are somber and add an air of severity to the scene. I looked on the valley beneath. Vast mists were rising from the rivers which ran through it and curling in thick wreaths around the opposite mountains, whose summit were hidden in the uniform clouds, while rain poured from the dark sky and added to the melancholy impression I received from the objects around me. Alas, why does man boast of sensibilities superior to those apparent in the brute? It only renders them more necessary beings. If our impulses were confined to hunger, thirst, and desire, we might be nearly free, but now we are moved by every wind that blows and a chance word or scene that word may convey to us. Okay. We rest, a dream has power to poison sleep. We rise, one wandering through pollutes the day. We feel, conceive, or reason, laugh or weep, embrace fond woe, or cast our cares away. It is the same, for be it joy or sorrow, the path of its desperate still is free. Man's yesterday may ne'er be like his morrow, naught but endure, but mutability. It was nearly noon when I arrived at the top of the ascent. For some time I sat upon a rock that overlooks the sea of ice, a mist covering both that and the surrounding mountains. Presently a breeze dissipated the clouds, and I descended upon the glacier. The surface is very uneven, rising like the waves of a troubled sea, descending low and intersected by rifts that sink deep. The field of ice is almost a league in width, but I spent nearly 2 hours in crossing it. The opposite mountain is a bare perpetual rock. From the side where I now stood, Montvert was exactly opposite. At the distance of a league and above it rose Mount Blanc. In awful majesty, I remained in a recess of the rock, gazing on the wonderful and stupendous scene. The sea, or rather the vast river of ice, wound among its dependent mountains, whose aerial summits hung over its recesses. Their icy and glittering peaks shone in the sunlight over the clouds. My heart, which was before sorrowful, now swelled with something like joy. I exclaimed, "Wandering spirits, if need ye wander, and do not rest in your narrow beds, allow me this faint happiness to all take me as your companion, away from the joys of life." As I said this, I suddenly beheld the figure of a man at some distance, advancing towards me with superhuman speed. He bounded over the crevices in the ice, among which I had walked with caution. His stature also, as he approached, seemed to exceed that of a man. I was troubled. A mist came over my eyes, and I felt a faintness seize me, but I was quickly restored by the cold gale of the mountains. I perceived, as the shape came nearer, sight tremendous and abhorred, that it was the wretch whom I had created. I trembled with rage and horror, resolving to wait his approach and then close with him in mortal combat. He approached. His countenance bespoke bitter anguish combined with disdain and malignity, while his unearthly ugliness rendered it almost too horrible for human eyes. But I scarcely observed this. Rage and hatred had at first deprived me of utterance, and I recovered only to overwhelm him with words expressive of furious detestation and contemplation. "Devil!" I exclaimed, "do you dare approach me? And do not you fear the fierce vengeance of my arm wreaked on your miserable head? Begone, vile insect, or rather stay, that I may trample you to dust. And oh, that I would, with the extinction of your miserable existence, restore those victims whom you have so diabolically murdered." "I expected this reception," said the demon. "All men hate the wretched. How then must I be hated, who am miserable beyond all living things? Yet you, my creator, detest and spurn me, thy creature to whom thou art bound by ties only dissoluble by the annihilation of one of us. You purpose to kill me. How dare you sport thus with life? Do your duty towards me, and I will do mine towards you and the rest of mankind. If you will comply with my conditions, I will leave them, and you at peace. But if you refuse, I will glut the maw of death until it be satiated with the blood of your remaining friends. Abhorred monster, fiend that thou art, the tortures of hell are too mild a vengeance for thy crimes. Wretched devil, you reproach me with your creation. Come then, that I may extinguish the spark which I so negligently bestowed. My rage was without bonds. I sprang on him, impelled by all the feeling which can one arm being against the existence of another. He easily eluded me and said, "Be calm. I entreat you to hear me before you give vent to your hatred on my devoted head. Have I not suffered enough that you seek to increase my misery? Life, although it may only be an acclamation of anguish, is dear to me, and I will defend it. Remember, thou hast made me more powerful than thyself. My height is superior to thine, my joints more supple, but I will not be tempted to set myself in opposition to thee. I am thy creature, and I will be even mild and docile to my natural lord and king, if thou wilt also perform thy part. The which thou owest me, O Frankenstein, be not equitable to every other, and trample upon me alone, to whom thy justice and even thy clemency no affection is most due. Remember that I am thy creature. I ought to be thy Adam, but I am rather the fallen angel, whom thou drivest from joy no misdeed. Wherever I see bliss from which I alone am irrevocably excluded, I will benevolently, and good miserable made me a fiend. Make me happy, and I shall again be virtuous. Begone, I will not hear you. There can be no community between you and me. We are enemies. Begone, or let us try our strength in a fight, in which one must fall. How can I move thee? Will no entreaties cause thee to turn a favourable eye upon thy creature, who implores thy goodness and compassion? Believe me, Frankenstein, I was benevolent. My soul glowed with love and humanity, but I am not alone. Miserable, alone. You, my creator, abhor me. What hope can I gather from our fellow creatures who owe me nothing? They spurn and hate me. They desert mountains and dreary glaciers are my refuge. I have wandered here many days. The caves of ice, which I only do not fear, are a dwelling to me, and the only one which man does not grudge. These bleak skies I hail, for they are kinder to me than your fellow beings. If the multitude of mankind knew my existence, they would do as you do, and arm themselves for my destruction. Shall I not then hate them who abhor me? I will keep no terms with my enemies. I am miserable, and they shall share my wretchedness, yet it is in your power to recompense me and deliver me from them, and deliver them from an evil which it only remains for you to make so great, that not only you and your family, but thousands of others had that abandoned or commiserate me, and you shall judge that I deserve. But hear me. The guilty are allowed by human laws, body as they are, to speak in their own defense before they are condemned. Listen to me, Frankenstein. You accuse me of murder, and yet you would, with a satisfied conscience, destroy your own creature. Oh, praise the eternal justice of man. Yet I ask you not to spare me. Listen to me, and then, if you can, and if you will, destroy the work of your hands. Why do you call to my remembrance? I rejoined. Circumstances of which I shudder to reflect that I have been the miserable origins and author. Cursed be the day, abhorred devil, in which you first saw light. Cursed, although I curse myself, be the hands that formed you. You have made me wretched beyond expression. You have left me no power to consider whether I am just to you or not. Begone, relieve me from the sight of your detested form. Thus I relieve thee, my creator, he said, and placed his hated hands before my eyes, which I flung from me with violence. Thus I take from thee a sight which you abhor. Still, thou canst listen to me and grant me thy compassion. By the virtues that I once possessed, I demand this from you. Hear my tale. It is long and strange, and the temperature of this place is not fitting for your fine sensations. Come to the hut upon the mountains. The sun is yet high on the heavens before it descends to hide itself behind your snowy precipices and illuminate another world. You will have heard my story and can decide. On you it rests whether I quit forever the neighborhood of man and lead a harmless life, or become a scourge of your fellow creatures and the author of your own speedy ruin. As he said this, he led the way across the ice. I followed. My heart was full, and I did not answer him, but I proceeded. I weighed the various arguments that he had used and determined to at least listen to his tale. I was partially urged by curiosity, and compassion confirmed my resolution. I had hitherto supposed him to be the murderer of my brother, and I eagerly sought a confirmation or denial of this opinion. For the first time also I felt that the duties of a creator towards his creature were, and I ought to render him happy before I complain of his wretchedness. These motives urged me to comply with his demand. We crossed the ice, therefore, and ascended the opposite rock. The air was cold, and the rain again began to descend. We entered the hut, the fiend with an air of exultation, I with a heavy heart and depressed spirit. But I condensed to listen, and seating myself to the fire which my odious companion had lighted, he thus began his tale. That is the end of chapter 10. We are on chapter 11 now. Hi, Nepsy. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. How are you? Hi, Dakri. Welcome in. Hi, McFarties. Lushy Flamingo, thank you for the follow. Shark Week? You mean the TV show? Okay. All right. We're on chapter 11 now. Okay, just vibing. Yeah, get nice and cozy. I thought I could do without my fan, but I think I need my fan on. It's way too hot. It is way too hot to not have it on. There we go. Okay. Chapter 11. It is with considerable difficulty that I remember the original era of my being. All the events of that period appear confused and indistinct. A strange multiplicity of sensations seized me, and I saw, felt, heard, and smelt at the same time, and it was, indeed, a long time before I learned to distinguish between the operations of my various senses. By degrees, I remember oh, this is him talking. This is the monster talking. By degrees, I remember a stronger light pressed upon my nerves, so that I obliged to shut my eyes. Darkness then came over me and troubled me, but hardly had I felt this when, by opening my eyes, as I now suppose, the light poured in upon me again. I walked, and I believe descended, but I presently found a great alteration in my sensations. Before, dark and opaque bodies had surrounded me, impervious to my touch or sight, and I now found that I could wander at the library, with no obstacles which I could not either surmount or avoid. The light became more and more oppressive to me, and the heat wearying me as I walked. I sought a place where I could receive shade. This was the forest near Ingolstadt, and here I lay by the side of a brook resting from my fatigue, until I felt tormented by hunger and thirst. This roused me from my nearly dormant state, and I ate some berries which I found hanging on the trees or lying on the ground. I slaked my thirst at the brook, and then lying down was overcome by sleep. It was dark when I awoke. I felt cold also, and half frightened as it were, instinctively finding myself so desolate. Before I had quitted your apartment on the sensation of cold, I had covered myself with some clothes, but these were insufficient to secure me from the dews of night. I was a poor, helpless, miserable wretch. I knew and could distinguish nothing, but feeling pain invade me on all sides, I sat down and wept. Soon a gentle light stole over the heavens and gave me a sensation of pleasure. I started up and beheld a radiant form rise from among the trees, the moon. I gazed with a kind of wonder. It moved slowly, but it enlightened my path, and I again went out in search of berries. I was still cold when under one of the trees I found a huge cloak, with which I covered myself and sat down upon the ground. No distinct ideas occupied my mind. All was confused. I felt light and hunger and thirst and darkness. Innumerable sounds rang in my ears, and on all sides various scents saluted me. The only subject that I could distinguish was the bright moon, and I fixed my eyes on that with pleasure. Several changes of day and night passed, and the orb of night had greatly lessened. When I began to distinguish my sensations from each other, I gradually saw plainly the clear stream that supplied me with drink, and the trees that shaded me with their foliage. I was delighted when I first discovered that a pleasant sound, which often saluted my ears, proceeded from the throats of little winged animals who had often intercepted the light from my eyes. I began also to observe with greater accuracy the forms that surrounded me, and to perceive the boundaries of the radiant roof of light which canopied me. Sometimes I tried to imitate the pleasant songs of the birds, but was unable. Sometimes I wished to express my sensations in my own mode, but the uncouth and inarticulate sounds which broke from me frightened me into silence again. The moon had disappeared from the night, and again, with a lessened form, showed itself. While I still remained in the forest, my sensations had by this time become distinct, and my mind received every day additional ideas. My eyes became accustomed to the light and to perceive objects in their right forms. I distinguished the insect from the herb, and by degrees one herb from another. I found that the sparrow uttered none but harsh notes, whilst those of the blackbird and thrush were sweet and enticing. One day, when I was oppressed by cold, I found fire which had been left by some wandering beggars, and was overcome with delight at the warmth I experienced from it. In my joy, I thrust my hands into the live embers, but quickly drew it out again with the cry of pain. How strange, I thought, that the same cause should produce some opposite effects. I examined the materials of the fire, and to my joy found it to be composed of wood. I quickly collected some branches, but they were wet and could not burn. I was pained at this, and still sat watching the operations of the fire. Quackers, thank you for the follow. The wet wood which I had placed near the heat dried, and itself became inflamed. I reflected on this, and by touching the various branches I discovered the cause, and busied myself in collecting a great quantity of wood, that I might dry it and have a plentiful supply of wood. When night came on and brought sleep with it, I was in the greatest fear lest my fire should be extinguished. I covered it carefully with dry wood and leaves, and placed wet branches on it, and then spread my cloak. I lay on the ground and sank into sleep. Cares, thank you for the follow. It was morning when I woke, and my first care was to visit the fire. I uncovered it, and a gentle breeze quickly fanned it into flame. I observed this also, and contrived a fan of branches which roused the embers when they were nearly extinguished. When night came again, I found with pleasure that the fire gave light as well as the heat, and that the discovery of this element was useful to me in my food, for I found some of the offals that the travellers had left had been roasted, and tasted much more savoury than the berries I gathered from the trees. I tried, therefore, to dress my food in the same manner, placing it on the live embers. I found that the berries were spoiled by this operation, and the nuts and roots much improved. Food, however, became scarce, and I often spent the whole day searching in vain for a few acorns to assuage the pangs of hunger. When I found this, I resolved to quit the place that I had hitherto inhabited, to seek for one where a few wants I experienced would be more easily satisfied. In this emigration I exceedingly lamented the loss of the fire which I had obtained through accident, and knew not how to reproduce it. I gave several hours into the serious consideration of this difficulty, but I was obliged to relinquish all attempts to supply it, and wrap myself up in my cloak. I struck across the woods towards the setting sun. I passed 3 days in these rambles, and at length discovered the open country. A great fall of snow had taken place the night before, and the fields were of one uniform white. The appearance was disconsolate, and I found my feet chilled by the cold, damp substance that covered the ground. Looks like ads are about to start in a minute, so I'm just going to wait a bit before we keep going. Hi Dara, how are you? Hi, Begunes. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you? How's your night? We're doing some reading tonight. We are reading some Frankenstein. Hi, Kazar. If you guys would like to join us in the book, you can do !point book and get the link that way, or just pin to the top of chat. But once the ads start, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go grab some water and do some stretches, and then we'll get back into it. So, oh goodness. Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch over to take care of my my ad needs. How are you? I'm good, Dara. Goodness, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. I'm gonna do a quick BRB, and when we get back, we'll continue with the book. But yeah, for now, take the time to get some water, get cozy in bed, and I will be right back. Guys, that's my mom. That's mom there. Hi Kote, how was stream? Welcome in raiders. Welcome to Favorite Cafe. I'm Mukya. I'm a siren with a necrotic affliction. But tonight, I am a demoness, and we are reading Frankenstein. How are you, Kote? How was stream? How was Grand Blue? Welcome back. Thank you. W Raid. Yeah, guys, Kote is so freaking cool. I got to meet them with our friend Aqua, when Aqua did a collab of Peak, and I met Kote through Aqua when we played some Peak. It was so much fun. If you guys haven't given them a follow, please go give them a follow. Go check them out. Kote is so cool. I know the raid already went off. The raid call already went off. You guys can do me a favor. I'm gonna drop their link into the chat. Go give them a follow. They're very sweet. Oh no, I didn't copy it. Go check them out. But Kote, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Like I said, we are reading Frankenstein right now. We are on chapter 11. We are learning about the journey of the monster, Frankenstein's monster. Because if you guys don't know, Frankenstein is actually the doctor, the scientist who created the monster, not the monster themselves. The monster technically does not have a name. He goes by wretch, demon, creature, vile thing. It's really sad. It's very sad. He doesn't have a name, but if you guys would like to follow along on the book, there's the link right there. We just came back from an ad break. Just like me for a thought. No, you're handsome. How dare you? Mom, you cannot talk about yourself like that. You cannot talk about yourself like that in front of me. It's impossible, it's rude, it's terrible. If you're ugly, then I'm uglier. If you think about it, isn't Frankenstein the real monster here? Frankenstein is when the mask of humanity is pulled off, right? When a man or a woman or someone who doesn't want to or doesn't have a gender identity like that, right? When a being removes the mask of their humanity and they are laid bare and all you see is the what's the word? When they don't have that thing that keeps us from doing stuff, you know, like when you're holding something delicate and precious, everybody has that idea of just like, what if I dropped it? Inhibitions, that's the word. When the mask of inhibitions is removed. Conscientious? I was thinking morality. Morality is a good word. Yeah, I like to think Frankenstein is when the mask of morality is completely removed and it's just our own selfish desires to basically be powerful in our own fields, right? So Frankenstein is removing his mask. So all we see is the scientist, right? Now that his creation actually worked, now that his terrible idea came to pass, as in him creating the monster, right? As what some people call Adam, right? Creating his Adam. His mask had to slip back into place and he is no longer looking through the eyes of a scientist, of a man without inhibitions, but a man that has to live in a world of other people. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? That's kind of how I think of him. A monster doesn't necessarily mean, in my mind, right, doesn't necessarily mean a terrible being, just by being a monster, right? By being other than human. But Frankenstein himself is the worst of humanity in so many ways, right? He creates something, discards it, and then chooses to destroy it, or tries to destroy it, because he feels a sense of dread of what he created. There's tons of papers out there and stuff like that all about Frankenstein himself and who's the real monster and whatever, of course, but I'm just trying to think of like how I would view it. Oh my gosh, there we go. Much better. From the perspective, the doctor must see the creation as a huge burden. Yes, it's very much an albatross rung around his neck. If you guys don't know that poem, there's a poem about the what's it called, the Ancient Mariner? I think it's called the Ancient Mariner. Rhyme with Ancient Mariner. You might have heard the line, I think it's water, water everywhere, but not a drunk to drink. Yes. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. Because when in the ocean, right, people can't drink salt water. They will literally dehydrate and hurt themselves more than just not drinking water. Hi, Bellicor. Welcome in. But anyways, if we want to say Frankenstein is the monster for ease, then I will not argue with that. But we reached chapter 11, where the monster is telling his story. Really quick before I forget. Kote, thank you so much. Oh. Formal. Hi, Formal. Thank you for the raid. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome to Favorite Cafe. I'm Mukia. I'm a siren with a necrotic affliction, and I run a cafe. Tonight we are a demoness, and we are reading Frankenstein. If you guys like to lurk and hang out, you're more than welcome to. But hi, Formal. How is Paul? Were you playing with anybody? Were you playing with Lucy, or were you just playing by yourself? But Formal and Kote, if you guys are still here, if you need to raid and run, I completely understand. But if you want to lurk and hang out, you're more than welcome to. Just make sure to do your after stream care, eat food, drink water, take a shower, because you're stinky gamers. Especially in the summer heat, you're probably sweltering, sitting in your own goop. That sounds terrible. I shouldn't say it like that, but it is what it is. Let's not pretend. I was playing with a friend from before they went to bed, and I played alone for a bit. Oh, okay, okay. Get ready for bed. Very goopy, but I'll be around. Ew, stinky. Mama's stinky goopy. Yeah. But make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Get nice and cozy in bed, Kote and Formal. Hopefully you get some good water. Get yourself something to drink. I went and got myself an ice water. I had water, but I put ice in it this time. Oh. I got pinged twice in something. I heard the that happens when I get a message. No? Okay. But I see. I was called Stinky. Yes. Yes, you're stinky. Everybody's stinky, especially during summer. But I'm gonna go ahead really quick before we all get into bed. Okay. Lucinda Bunny, thanks for the follow, Lucinda Bunny. I'll go after my stream care. Yeah. Go do your stream care. Really quick, everybody else that is still here and hanging out, sit up straight at your desk, tilt your head to the left. Hanoi, I'm looking at you. Tilt your head to the right. 9, this one's for you. Look up. And look down. Lucy, go to bed, sit up, and drink some wawa. Alright. Let's get comfortable and let's continue reading. It was about 7 in the morning, and I longed to obtain food and shelter. At length I perceived a small hut on a rising ground, which had doubtless been built for the convenience of some shepherd. This was a new sight for me, and I examined the structure with great curiosity. Finding the door open, I entered. An old man sat at it, near a fire over which he was preparing his breakfast. He turned on hearing a noise and perceived me, shrieked loudly, and quitting the hut ran across the field, the speed of which his dilapidated form hardly appeared capable. His appearance, different from any I have ever seen before, had his flight somewhat surprised me, but I was enchanted by the appearance of the hut. Here the snow and rain could not penetrate. The ground was dry, and it presented to me then as exquisite and divine a retreat as pandemonium appeared to the demons of hell after their suffering in the lake of fire. I greedily devoured the remains of the shepherd's breakfast, which consisted of bread, cheese, milk, and wine. The latter, however, I did not like. Then, overcome by fatigue, I lay down amongst some straw and fell asleep. It was noon when I awoke, and allured by the warmth of the sun, which shone brightly on the white ground, I determined to recommence my travels and deposed the remains of the peasant's breakfast in a wallet I found. I proceeded across the fields for several hours until at sunset I arrived at a village. How miraculous did this appear! The huts, the neater cottages, and the stately houses engaged my admiration by turns. The vegetables in the garden, the milk and the cheese that I saw placed on the windows of some of the cottages allured to my appetite. One of the best of these I entered, but I had hardly placed a foot within the door before the children shrieked, and one of the women fainted. The whole village was roused. Some fled, some attacked me until grievously bruised by stones and many other kinds of missile weapons. I escaped to the open country and fearfully took refuge in a low hovel, quite bare, and making a wretched appearance after the palaces I had beheld in my village. This hovel, however, joined a cottage of a neat and pleasant appearance, but after my late dearly brought experience, I did not enter it. My place of refuge was constructed of wood, but so low that I could with difficulty sit upright in it. No wood, however, was placed on the hearth, which formed the floor, but it was dry, and although the wind entered it by innumerable chinks, I found it an agreeable asylum from the snow and the rain. Here, then, I retreated and lay down, happy to have found a shelter, however miserable from the inclemency of the season, and still more from the barbarity of man. As soon as morning dawned, I crept from my kennel, that I might view the adjacent cottage and discover if I could remain in the habitation I had found. It was situated against the back of the cottage and surrounded by the sides, which were exposed by a pigsty and a clear pool of water. One part was open, and by that I had crept in. By now I covered every crevice of which I might be perceived with stones and wood, yet in such a manner that I might move them on occasion to pass out. All the light I enjoyed came through the sty, and that was sufficient for me. Thus, having arranged my dwelling and carpeted it with clean straw, I retired, for I saw the figure of a man at a distance, and I remembered too well my treatment the night before to trust myself to his power. At first, however, pivoted from my sustenance for the day by a loaf of coarse bread, which I purloined in a cup of which I could drink more conveniently than from my hand of the pure water which flowed from my retreat. The floor was a little raised, and so that it was kept perfectly dry, and by this vicinity to the chimney of the cottage was tolerably warm. Being thus provided, I resolved to reside in this hovel until something should occur which might alter my determination. It was indeed a paradise compared to the bleak forest, my former residence, the rain-dropping branches and the dank earth. I ate my breakfast with pleasure, and was about to remove a plank to procure myself a little water when I heard a step, and looking through a small chink I beheld a young creature, with the pail on her head, passing before my hovel. The girl was young and of gentle demeanour, unlike what I have since found cottages and farmhouses servants to be. Yet she was meanly dressed, and coarse blue petticoat with a linen jacket being her only garb. Her fair hair was plaited but not adorned. She looked patient yet sad. I lost sight of her, and in about a quarter of an hour she returned bearing the pail, which was now partially filled with milk. And as she walked along, seemingly incommoded by the burden of a young man met her, whose countenance expressed a deeper despondence. Uttering a few sounds with an air of melancholy, he took the pail from her head and bore it to the cottage himself. She followed, and they disappeared. Presently I saw the young man again, with some tools in his hand, cross the field behind the cottage, and the girl was also busied, sometimes in the house and sometimes in the yard. On examining my dwelling, I found that one of the windows of the cottages had formerly occupied a part of it, but the panes had been filled up with wood, and in one of these was a small and almost imperceptible chink through which the eye could just penetrate. Through this crevice a small room was visible, whitewashed and clean but very bare of furniture. In one corner, near a small fire, sat an old man, leaning his head on the hands in a disconsolate attitude. The young girl was occupied in arranging the cottage, but presently she took something out of a drawer which employed her hands, and she sat down beside the old man, who, taking up an instrument, began to play and to produce sounds sweeter than the voice of the thrush or the nightingale. It was a lovely sight, even to me, poor wretch, who had never beheld aught beauty before. The silver hair and benevolent countenance of the aged cottager won my reverence, while the gentle manners of the girl enticed my love. He played a sweet mournful air, which I preserved drew tears from the eyes of this amiable companion, of which the old man took no notice until she sobbed audibly, and then pronounced a few sounds, and the fair creature, leaving her work, kneeled at his feet. He raised her, and smiled with such kindness and affection that it felt sensations of a peculiar and overpowering nature. They were a mixture of pain and pleasure, such as I had never before experienced, either from hunger or cold, warmth or food, and I withdrew from the window, unable to bear these emotions. Ruffle, oh my god, Ruffle. Ruffle, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs, holy shit, to Blue, Con, Danish, Golmon, Morphobio, Lucy, Itchy Beard, Bruno, Bocci, and Dean. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Ruffle. Ruffle, did you want me to switch my outfit? Did you want me to change to something else, or did you want me to stay as I am? Thank you so much. Let me add a kiss for you. And also, Michael, thank you so much for your community sub over to, let me see, to MRK, to Mark Smolin? Mark Smolin? This is lovely. You're okay with this one? Okay. Okay, then I will stay. I will still add a kiss for you. But thank you so much, Raffle. Thank you, thank you. Hi, HK. Thank you so much for the 15 stream streak. Let's do... I'm gonna do this orangey color for you, Raffle. I will put it... I'll put it over here. It's not quite on my heart, but I feel like if I put it on my heart, you're not gonna see it. So I'm gonna put that there. And Michael, I'll do another kiss for you. We'll do blue for you, Michael. Michael, thank you so much for the sub over to Bulbanir. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. And then one more for Michael. Thank you so much for the subs. Thank you. Please enjoy those emotes, and as always, welcome to your guys' favorite cafe. How are you, Raffle? Hope you're doing good. Raffle, I'm gonna do this kind of purpley red, purpley blue. And I'm gonna put it, oh, I can't put it there. To raise it a bit more. We're gonna put it right here. Actually, we don't have any on this cheek yet. There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you, Raffle? How's your night going? You doing good? You doing okay? Thank you for the hearts, Dan. Thank you. Okay. I'm good. It's warm tonight, so your voice and the temp are a great combo. Honestly, fair. When it's really hot, sometimes the only thing I do is just literally force myself to sleep so I don't think about it. Okay. Alright. Soon after this, the young man returned, bearing on his shoulder a load of wood. The girl met him at the door, helped to relieve him of his burden, and taking some of the fuel into the cottage, placed it to the fire. Then she and the youth went apart to a nook of the cottage, and he showed her a large loaf and a piece of cheese. She seemed pleased and went into the garden for some roots and plants, which she placed in water, and then upon the fire she afterwards continued her work, whilst the young man went into the garden and appeared busily employed in digging and pulling up roots. After he had been employed thus about an hour, the young woman joined him, and they entered the cottage together. The old man had, in the meantime, been pensive, but on appearance of his companions he assumed a more cheerful air, and they sat down to eat. The meal was quickly dispatched. The young woman was again occupied in arranging the cottage. The old man walked before the cottage in the sun for a few minutes, leaning on the arm of the youth. Nothing could exceed in beauty the contrast between these two excellent creatures. One was old, with silver hair and a countenance beaming with benevolence and love. The younger was slight and graceful in his figure, and his features were moulded with the finest symmetry, yet his eyes and attitude expressed the utmost sadness and despondency. The old man returned to the cottage, and the youth, with tools different from those he had used in the morning, directed his steps across the field. Night quickly shut in, but to my extreme wonder I found the cottages had a means of prolonging light by the use of tapers, and was delighted to find that the setting of the sun did not put an end to the pleasure I experienced in watching my human neighbours. In the evening the young girl and her companion were employed in various occupations which I did not understand, and the old man again took up the instrument, which produced a divine sound that had enchanted me in the morning. So soon as he finished, the youth began, not to play, but to utter sounds that were monotonous, and neither resembling the harmony of the old man's instrument nor the sounds of the birds I since found that he read aloud, but at that time I knew nothing of the science of words or letters. The family, after having been thus occupied for a short time, extinguished their lights and retired, as I conjectured, to rest. Hi Galaxy, have a good lurk. We are now on chapter 12. Alright. Chapter 12, not 112. Chapter 12. It's interesting to see that Frankenstein's Adam, right? I don't like calling him creature or monster. I'm going to call him Adam. It's interesting to see that Frankenstein's Adam is like, he's remembering how things were in the first couple days of his existence, and instead of saying, you know, I found a place for me to kind of stay dry next to a cottage, and there was a couple. The old man played the violin. Like he says, instead of saying the old man was playing the violin or the piano or whatever, right? He said the old man was playing something that created a musical sound. Like he words it in that way, as opposed to just saying, right? Like the couple were talking about how poor they are or whatever, right? He's wording it in a way so that when you're reading it, you can kind of put yourself in the shoes of Adam, right? That you're like, yeah, if I didn't know what these things were, I would not have words for them. I would just know the sensations that I felt when I heard them. And it's interesting to read it that way, you know what I mean? Like in a good way, of course, right? In a good way, it's interesting to read it this way. Not in a bad way. To me, anyways. Okay, but we are now on chapter 12. I'm gonna drink some water and then we'll keep going. Very verbose description by Frankenstein's Adam. So as I'm reading Mary Shelley, I'm realizing that they too like to use, like you said, very verbose descriptions, as opposed to just saying they played an instrument, they ate cheese, they talked about the sun or whatever, right? It's interesting to read it. I understand it, but it's very like, it's the long way of doing it. It's like actions that can't be described with just words. Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, if I was going to teach you guys, like, ballet, right? I can't just say, okay, stand on point. You guys would not know what I mean by that. You know, you would not. I would have to be like, okay, so I need you to stand like this with your feet like this, your hands over here. Make sure your core is like this, whatever, right? I'd have to describe down to the minute detail of what it is, you know? Hi, Daniel. Welcome in. How are you? Thank you so much for the resub. Enjoy this emotes, and thank you for your, welcome to your favorite cafe. Let me go ahead and give you, let's see, we're gonna do a bite. We haven't done a bite yet. I'm gonna say that you're gonna bite my collarbone. Hi, Nanya. Welcome in. How are you, friendo? Hope you're doing good. Heidi, hi. Hi. I know what you mean by that. Right, because when you, unless, like, if I was in the same room with you, Starseer, I could be like, okay, so I need you to stand like this, and make sure that these parts of your body are like, not tense, what's the word, that you're engaging these parts of your muscles, right? Because you can just see what I'm doing and copying it, but I can't, so I have to describe it to you with words. Body rather flexible. Ballet is very fun. I actually really liked ballet. I kind of miss, I did ballet, I did tap, I did swing, I did, what is it? Ballet and jazz. Ballet, tap, swing, and jazz. Ballet was fun. I liked jazz a lot. I kind of miss tap. Swing, I kind of feel like I would have liked to keep going, but I didn't really do a whole lot with it. Doing great. Had a busy day, so just winding down now. Have you been? I've been good. I'm good. We're just hanging out tonight. We picked up a new body asset, as you can tell, so we are fully leaning into the demoness aspect of the outfit. But yeah, for a monster, Adam has a poetic way of experiencing life, anew, that is, for being made of different body parts. Exactly, right? Flag had a lot of ballet elements, and they were my favorite practice days. Flag? What's flag? I don't know what flag is. I've never heard of flag before. Okay, chapter 12. Okay, color guard for band. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I never did band, but very lovely. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get back into the story. We're gonna start on chapter 12 now. One more little drink of water, and then we'll start the book. Or we'll start the next chapter. Hi, worker. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you? How's your night? Okay. Chapter 12. I lay on my straw, but I could not sleep. I thought of the occurrences of the day. What chiefly struck me was the gentle manners of these people, and I longed to join them, but dared not. I remembered too well the treatment I had suffered the night before from the barbarous village, and resolved, whatever course of conduct I might hereafter think it right to pursue, that for the present I would remain quiet in my hovel, watching and endeavouring to discover the motives which influenced their actions. The cottage arose the next morning before the sun. The young woman arranged the cottage and prepared the food, and the youth departed after the first meal. This day was passed in the same routine as which had preceded it. The young man was constantly employed out of doors, and the girl in various labourers' occupations within. The old man, whom I soon perceived to be blind, employed his leisure hours on his instrument or in contemplation. Nothing could exceed the love and respect which the young cottagers exhibited towards their venerable companion. They performed towards him every little office or affection with duty, with gentleness, and he rewarded them with his benevolent smiles. They are not entirely happy. The young man and his companion often went apart and appeared to weep. I saw no cause for the unhappiness, but I was deeply affected by it. If such lovely creatures were miserable, it was less strange that I, an imperfect and solitary being, should be wretched. Yet, why were these gentle beings unhappy? They possessed a delightful house, for which it was, in my eyes, every luxury. They had a fire for warmth, to warm them when chill, and delicious viands when hungry. They were dressed in excellent clothes, and still more they enjoyed one another's company and speech, interchanging each day looks of affection and kindness. What did their tears imply? Did they really express pain? I was at first unable to solve these questions, but perpetual attention and time explained to me many appearances, which were at first enigmatic. A considerable period elapsed before I discovered one of these causes of the uneasiness of this amiable family. It was poverty, and they suffered that evil in a very distressing degree. Their nourishment consisted entirely of the vegetables of the garden and the milk of one cow, which gave very little during the winter, when its masters could scarcely procure food to support it. They often, I believe, suffered the pangs of hunger very potently, especially the two younger cottagers, for several times they placed food before the old man when they reserved none for themselves. This trait of kindness moved me sensibly. I had been accustomed during the night to steal a part of their stole for my own consumption, but when I found that in doing this I inflicted pain on the cottagers, I abstained and satisfied myself with berries, nuts, and roots which I gathered from neighboring woods. Hold on. I discovered also another means through which I was enabled to assist their labours. I found the youth spent a great part of each day in collecting wood for the family fire, and during the night I often took his tools to use, of which I quickly discovered, and brought home some fire sufficient for the consumption of several days. I remember the first time that I did this. The young woman, when she opened the door in the morning, appeared greatly astonished on seeing a great pile of wood on the outside. She uttered some words in a loud voice, and the youth joined her, who also expressed surprise. I observed with pleasure that he did not go by the forest that day, and spent it in repairing the cottage and cultivating the garden. By degrees I made a discovery of still greater moment. I found that these people possessed a method of communicating their experiences and feelings to one another by articulate sounds. I perceived that the words they spoke sometimes produced pleasure or pain, smiles or sadness, in the minds and countenance of the hearers. This was indeed a godlike science, and I ardently desired to become acquainted with it, but I was baffled in every attempt I made for this purpose. The pronunciation was quick, and the words they uttered, not having any apparent connection with visible objects, I was unable to discover any clue by which I could unravel the mystery of their reference. By great application, however, and after having remained during the space of several revolutions of the moon in my hovel, I discovered the names that were given to some of the most familiar objects of discourse. I learned and applied the words fire, milk, bread, and wood. I learned also the names of the cottagers themselves. The youth and his companion had each of them several names, but the old man had only one, which was father. The girl was called sister or Agatha. The youth, Felix, brother or son. I cannot describe the delight I felt when I learned the ideas appropriated to each of these sounds and was able to pronounce them. I distinguished several of the words without being able as yet to understand or to apply them, such as good, dearest, unhappy. I spent the winter in this manner. The gentle manners and beauty of the cottagers greatly endeared me to them. When they were unhappy, I felt depressed. When they rejoiced, I sympathized in their joys. I saw few human beings besides them, and if any other happened to enter the cottage, their harsh manners and rude gait only enhanced me to the superior accomplishments of my friends. The old man, I could perceive, often endeavoured to encourage his children, as sometimes I found that he called them To cast off their melancholy, he would talk in a cheerful accent, with an expression of goodness that bestowed pleasure even upon me. Agatha listened with respect, her eyes sometimes filled with tears which she endeavoured to wipe away unperceived, but I generally found that her countenance and tone were more cheerful after having listened to the exhortations of her father. It was not thus with Felix. He was always the saddest of the group, and even to my unpractised senses he appeared to have suffered more deeply than his friends. But if his countenance was more sorrowful, his voice was more cheerful than that of his sister, especially when he addressed the old man. "Hi then, it is welcome in." I could mention innumerable instances which, although slight, marked the dispositions of these amiable cottagers. In the midst of poverty and want, Felix carried with pleasure to his sister the first little white flower that peeped out from beneath the snowy ground. Early in the morning, before she had risen, he cleared away the snow that obstructed her path to the milk-house, drew water from the well, and brought the wood from the outhouse, where, to his perpetual astonishment, he found his store always replenished by an invisible hand. In the day, I believe, he worked sometimes for a neighbouring farmer, because he often went forth and did not return until dinner, yet brought no wood with him. At other times he worked in the garden, but as there was little to do in the frosty season, he read to the old man and Agatha. This reading had puzzled me extremely at first, but by degrees I discovered that he uttered many of the same sounds when he read as he talked. I conjectured, therefore, that he found on the paper signs for speech which he understood, and I ardently longed to comprehend these also. But how was that possible when I did not even understand the sounds for which they stood as signs? I improvised, however, sensibly in the science, but not sufficiently to follow up any kind of conversation, although I applied my whole mind to the endeavour. For I easily perceived that, although I eagerly longed to discover myself to the cottages, I ought not to make the attempt until I had first become master of their language, which knowledge might enable me to make them overlook the deformity of my figure. For with this also the contrast perpetually presented to my eyes had made me acquainted. Galdenier, welcome in. How are you, cutie? I had admired the perfect forms of my cottagers, their grace, beauty, and delicate complexions, but how was I terrified when I viewed myself in a transparent pool. At first I stared back, unable to believe that it was indeed I who was reflected in the mirror, and when I became fully convinced that I was in reality the monster that I am, I was filled with the bitterest sensations of despondence and mortification. Alas, I did not yet entirely know the fatal effects of the miserable deformity. As the sun became warmer and the light of the day longer, the snow vanished, and I beheld the bare trees and the black earth. From this time, Felix was more employed, and the heart-moving indications of impending famine disappeared. Their food, as I afterwards found, was coarse, but it was wholesome, and they procured a sufficiency of it. Several new kinds of plants sprang up in the garden, which they dressed, and these signs of comfort increased daily as the season advanced. The old man, leaning on his son, walked each day at noon when it did not rain, as I found it was called when the heavens poured forth its waters. This frequently took place, but a high wind quickly dried the earth, and the season became far more pleasant than it had been. My mode of life in my hovel was uniform. During the morning I attended the motions of the cottagers, and when they were dispersed in various occupations, I slept. The remainder of the day was spent in observing my friends. When they had retired to rest, if there was any moon or the night was starlight, I went to the woods and collected my own food and fuel for the cottage. When I returned, as often as it was necessary, I cleared the path from the snow and performed those offices that I had seen done by Felix. I afterwards found that these labours, performed by an invisible hand, greatly astonished them, for once or twice I heard them, on these occasions, utter the word "good spirit," wonderful, but I did not then understand the signification of these terms. Have a good night, parrot. Rest well. Mwah. My thoughts now became more active, and I longed to discover the motives and feelings of these lovely creatures. I was inquisitive to know why Felix appeared so miserable and Agatha so sad. I thought, foolish wretch, that it might be in my power to restore happiness to these deserving people. When I slept or was absent, the forms of the venerable blind father, the gentle Agatha, and the excellent Felix flitted before me. I looked upon them as superior beings who would be the arbiters of my future destiny. I formed in my imagination 1,000 pictures of presenting myself to them and the reception of me. I imagined that they would be disgusted until, by my gentle demeanour and conciliating words, I should first win their favour and afterwards their love. These thoughts exhilarated me and led me to apply with fresh ardour to the acquiring of the art of language. My organs were indeed harsh but supple, and although my voice was very unlike the soft music of their tones, yet I produced such words as I understood with tolerable ease. It was as the ass and the lapdog, yet surely the gentle ass, whose intentions were affectionate, although his manners were rude, deserved better treatment than blows and execration. The pleasant showers and genial warmth of spring greatly altered the aspect of the earth. Men who before this change seemed to have been laid in caves dispersed themselves, and were employed in various arts of cultivation. The birds sang in more cheerful notes, and the leaves began to bud forth on the trees. Happy, happy earth, fit habitation for gods, which, so short a time before, was bleak, damp, and unwelcoming, and unwholesome. My spirits were alleviated by the enchanting appearance of nature. The past was blotted from my memory, the present was tranquil, and the future gilded by bright rays of hope and anticipations of joy. Hi, Gabe. I'm enjoying. I feel like I'm enjoying the perception, or the not perception. Sorry, the POV point of view of Adam, of Frankenstein's Adam. We decided we're not going to call him Monster anymore. We're going to call him Adam. I'm finding that I'm liking it more. I like the way that Shelley has him describe these scenes as if you're describing it. Like I could see Felix and Agatha in my head going about their day, right? I could see Agatha, whatever was making her sad, right, turn away to cry a couple tears. I could see Felix trying to be cheerful, but when he turns away and leaves for the day, he just has this sad expression on his face, you know what I mean? And I'm liking it. I like the way that he describes these emotions on the characters, as he himself describes his own feelings of being able to understand specifically what it is that they're saying, that they're doing, but because we know the words, we know what's going on. You know what I mean? She builds such a scene in our minds that even if we don't know specifically what is making them sad, we feel for them just as much. You know, I'm really liking it. I'm liking this part so far. But Rio says, "Hi Rio, good entrance, good entrance. Look wonderful as usual. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. We are now on chapter 13 of the book. We are now on chapter 13. If you guys would like to join us, you're more than welcome to. The book is pinned to the top of chat. Oh my goodness. Let me just... Thank you for the flowers. Stretch out my neck. Where's the other eye? I only have one. I only have one eye. What do you think the eye patch was for? Just for fashion? I'm inspired. You're good, Rio. You're good. You're okay. Only noticed it. I only had one eye for a good while. Okay, I think we're gonna do just one more chapter, and then we will be calling it a night. I don't want to do too many chapters in a night, and we started off on chapter 12, which means that we would have done 3 whole chapters. No, IRL, I have two perfectly good eyes. But I will say, my left eye, the one that's missing, I do have astigmatism. So, it's not wholly incorrect, I suppose. It's a good pace for moving that. Yeah. I don't want to go, like I said, I don't want to move, because I know there's people who listen to the book like later on, right? Because they couldn't make the live one, so they listen. So if I read the book and I only do a couple chapters per stream, then I'm not doing too many chapters per stream and make it not difficult, but I guess difficult is the best word to describe it, you know. But yeah, same here. Okay. That, and I do need to end a little bit early tonight, because I have to do... I was planning on doing a couple different... what's the word? A couple different... what's it called? Video edits today, but I didn't do any. I got too wrapped up in other things. So I think after this next chapter we'll be at about 4 hours, hopefully. Oh, wait, ads? Okay, we have ads in about 2 minutes. So before we start, we're gonna kind of just like hang out for a little bit, because we have ads in about 2 minutes. So well, technically projects. Yeah, I'm not ending Bologna. We're gonna do one more chapter. Good morning, video. But yeah, I have some with less coordinated work. As what? That's right. No. We're not ending. We have ads coming up in 2 minutes. And then we'll do a quick break. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna do some stretches. We'll come back and we'll finish, or we'll start chapter 13, and after 13 we'll end there. We'll end after chapter 13. But ads first. So we're not ending yet, guys. Don't worry. It's always a treat to hear you read on the day before I start work back up. Good, yeah. I like reading. I like doing the reading streams. They're definitely one of my favorite nights of the 2 ASMR nights that we do. I love ASMR, like triggers and stuff like that, of course. But I think reading is more relaxing for me because I consider Wednesday, Thursday my weekend. So it's like a great start to my weekend. Play some Smite and gotta save my stream streaks and other channels. Okay, Rio, take your time. Would you like some brownie? Oh my god, I would love some brownie. I've been craving chocolate for so long, and Pinoy hasn't sent me any chocolate. It's crazy. We have ads starting, guys. I can do a quick BRB, and we will be right back. Okay, I am back. No, literally, okay, really quick. Let me just, I'm gonna switch back. Hi, Cookie. Like, I was sitting here and I was stretching and I stood up and I walked around a little bit and I just hear this like snap, like this like electric snapping sound. And now my headset is like, no, it's not okay. Everything has this weird like tinny, staticky sound right now. Like I can't hear music. It's really staticky, like really, really badly staticky. I tried turning off my headset, turning it back on. I unplugged my thing. I'm gonna try switching the dongle to the other. Oh my god, everything sounds like it's 8-bit. 8-bit static. Let's see if that'll help. No, it's literally... Hi, Arcantos. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, raiders. Welcome to Vivid Cafe. I'm Mukia. I'm a siren with a necrotic affliction, and I run a cafe. If you guys would like a drink, we can do tea, boba, coffee, hot cocoa. However, the cake is extra. How was your stream? How did it go? You're doing some Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. I've had this headset for less than 10 months. I've had this headset for less than 10 months and it already breaks. I'm actually really upset right now. Hi Philip, welcome in. Hi Arcantos. Heavens might be broke. I think so. Oh no. If you got up fast, maybe there was too much tension. It's wireless. It's a wireless headset, so there's no such thing as tension. There's no such thing as tension. It's a wireless headset. These were $130. And they break in less than 10 months. I don't even want to read anymore. What the helly, right? If these were like $20 headset, that I probably would be like, yeah, whatever. No. I'm gonna, for 10 months is wild. Warranty? I probably have one. But I don't... I gotta find it. That's the thing. Stream went well. Was playing Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Beat up a lot of bad guys and took down supervillains. Heck yeah. Oh... But I can't even listen to, like, when you guys are listening to me read, I'm listening to music. And I can't even listen to music now. So I feel like I'm just sitting here in perfect silence. I don't like it. Hold on, I'm gonna try something. Let me see. Twisting the cords around. No, I was taking my headset off and see if it had any like buttons on it that I could like mess with. That is the essence of reading. No, yes and no, but like I can't read in silence. It just bothers me. Sorry, Arcantus, like literally my headset just fitzed out and broke. Because the one that I got, the headset that I got is... let's see, does it say the warranty on this? Embrace me, but make it sexy. Daddy, you look up, just let it go. Let's see. Warranty. Go to their websites. I'm sorry, I know this is boring right now. Thank you for the headband. Hi, Yuki. An app that goes with it? Yeah, it has an app because it's Logitech, so it has like a Logitech app. But it's Logitech. Yeah, I've never had an issue with it before. I've never had an issue with Logitech before. Not the headphones, I know. Yeah, everything just like has a really weird staticky-ness over it. Australia, why not? So it says 2 years. Okay, let me... if I go back... No, not that. Here. Support? Concerned? Yeah. Because the last thing I want to do is now I have to spend like another $120 to get another headset. And until then, I don't have a headset. Might be a 50-50 on whether it helps or not, but playing around with the cord or twisting it. It's a wireless headset. There is no cord. It's a wireless headset. There's no cord. That's why it was pretty expensive, is because it's wireless. Right before your birthday too. I know. I was like, okay, cool. I have all the things I need. I don't need to go get anything more. Like, we might have to just end here because I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated and I don't want to keep looking at this. Or also being a pain. Beyond me, sorry, Cookie. No, you're good. I think we're just... yeah, we're gonna have to end here because I really want to try and fix this. I need to look for my warranty and I still need to do my edits later. So... like, all I hear is just static. I know that feeling. Yeah... I wonder if I switch to mine. And you know what this... you know what? Okay, hear me out. I have earbuds that I could use. Galaxy, thank you so much for the gifted sub. I have earbuds that I could use. So I could switch to... I'm going to switch to those really quick and see if it's... because if it's not my headset, it's something else with my computer, which means it's probably like the sound drive. So I'm going to switch to my earbuds and see if that does anything. So give me a second, okay? Have a good night, Ako. I'm trying to plug in my Bluetooth thing. There it is. Okay, so good news is it's not my computer, it's literally my headset. The headset is busted. Okay. I could just use my earbuds. One more chapter. One more chapter. I'll use my earbuds instead. Okay, one more chapter, I'll use my earbuds. I mean, okay. I was like, okay, it could have been something with the computer, which means I'd have to turn it off and update the driver, whatever, right? But if I can't even... Thank you for the coffee order. So even if I do go through the process of getting a new headset, right? So now here's the thing, right? If I go through the process of getting a new headset, I'm spending $120, $130 on a brand new one if I go for the exact same one. But that's me paying out of pocket for it. If I go through the warranty with Logitech, I might not get it in time for my birthday, which means I'd have to use my earbuds. But my earbuds don't last longer than 2 to 3 hours. So then once they're gone, I won't have another thing that I could use, or once they're like dead, I won't have another thing that I could use for my event the week after next. So now I'm like, do I just buy another headset, do the whole warranty thing, see if they'll just give me back the money that I spent on the new headset and just kind of call it a day there? Or do I risk it for the biscuit? And go through the warranty thing. Now that's the conundrum. I'm gonna read chapter 13, take my mind off of it at least for 10 more minutes. I mean 30 more minutes. $130 for a headset. Are they Bluetooth or the ones who use USB for the connection? It's Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth wireless headset. Assembling emergency funds. I mean, one of my friends sent me some money to use for the 2.0 stuff. Use this for the model, use this to prepare for it, use this for whatever you need to use it for. Like, it's yours. It's birthday money, right? He gave me birthday money. And I was just like, okay, I was thinking in my head, that way I could just put this 500, because he sent me 500. I could put this 500 into a couple things that I needed for stream. I needed a tracker for the donathon that would track bits, subs, throne donations, and Ko-Fi donations on top of some art that I really wanted to get done. But now I'm like, I might need to use some of that for a headset. What brand? Logitech, the one I know, everybody's gonna be like, ooh, Logitech. I've never had an issue with Logitech, so I don't have an ooh about it. But the one that I got is the Logitech G77 Lightspeed Wireless. It's this one. That's the name. See about warranty, but if it looks like trouble, get a new one so you have it moving forward, so it's not so stressful about that. Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. Just see about getting a new one. It's now 100. I bought it for 120. Now it's 130. That's an after stream worry. That's an after stream worry. That's an after stream worry. Let me do some research on the warranty. Okay, Galaxy. Okay. I'm gonna breathe. We're gonna breathe. We're breathing. And we're gonna read. If I read, it'll take my mind off of it. Okay. Chapter 13. I now hasten to the more moving part of my story. Alright. Thank you for the care package. Everybody sit up, tilt your head to the left. Tilt your head to the right. Look up. Look down. Ooh, sit up and drink some water. Okay. Chapter 13. I now hasten to the more moving part of my story. I shall relate the events that impressed me with feelings which, from what I have been, have made me what I am. Spring advanced rapidly. The weather became fine, and the skies cloudless. It surprised me that what before was desert and gloom should now bloom with the most beautiful flowers and verdure. My senses were gratified and refreshed by 1,000 scents of delight and 1,000 sights of beauty. Just squeeze my head too much. I don't wear glasses with my headset, but I completely understand that. Invincible. But how are you, cutie? It was on these days when my cottagers periodically rested from labor. The old man played on his guitar, and the children listened to him, that I observed the countenance of Felix was melancholy beyond expression. He sighed frequently, and once his father paused in his music, and I conjectured by his manner that he inquired the cause of his son's sorrow. Felix replied in a cheerful tone, and the old man was recommencing his music when someone tapped at the door. It was a lady on horseback, accompanied by countrymen as his guide. The lady was dressed in a dock suit and covered with a thick black veil. Agatha asked a question, to which the stranger only replied by pronouncing, in a sweet accent, the name of Felix. Her voice was musical, but unlike that of either of my friends. On hearing this word, Felix came up hastily to the lady, whom, when she saw him, threw up her veil, and I believed a countenance of angelic beauty and expression. Her hair was a shining raven black, and curiously braided. Her eyes were dark, but gentle, although animated, her features of irregular proportion, and her complexion wondrously fair, each cheek tinged with a lovely pink. Felix seemed ravished with delight when he saw her. Every trait of sorrow vanished from his face, and it instantly expressed a degree of ecstatic joy, of which I could hardly have believed it capable. His eyes sparkled as his cheeks flushed with pleasure, and at that moment I thought him as beautiful as the stranger. She appeared affected by different feelings, wiping a few tears from her lovely face. as she held out her hand to Felix, who kissed it rapturously and called her, as well as I could distinguish, his sweet Arabian. She did not appear to understand him, but smiled. He assisted her to dismount, and dismissing her guide, conducted her into the cottage. Some conversations took place between them and his father, and the young stranger knelt at the old man's feet and would have kissed his hand, but he raised her and embraced her affectionately. I soon perceived that although the stranger uttered articulate sounds and appeared to have a language of her own, she was neither understood by nor herself understood by the cottagers. They made many signs, which I did not comprehend, but I saw that her presence diffused gladness through the cottage, dispelling their sorrows, as the sun dissipates the morning mist. Felix seemed particularly happy, and with smiles of delight welcomed his Arabian. Agatha, the ever-gentle Agatha, kissed the hands of the lovely stranger, and pointed to her brother, made signs which appeared to me to mean that he had been sorrowful until she came. Some hours passed, while they, on the countenance, expressed joy, the cause for which I did not comprehend. Presently I found, by the frequent recurrence of some sound which the strangers repeated after them, that she was endeavouring to learn their language. And the idea instantly occurred to me, which I had before understood, and I profited by the others. And the idea instantly occurred to me that I should make use of the same instructions to the same end. There we go. The stranger learned about 20 words at the first lesson. Most of them, indeed, were those which I had already before understood, but I profited by the others. As night came on, Agatha and Arabian retired early. When they separated, Felix kissed the hand of the stranger and said, "Good night, sweet Sophie." He sat up much longer, conversing with his father, and by the frequent repetition of her name I conjectured that their lovely guest was the subject of the conversation. I ardently desired to understand them, and bent every faculty towards that purpose, but found it utterly impossible. The next morning Felix went out to his work, and after the usual occupations of Agatha were finished, the Arabian sat at the feet of the old man, and taking his guitar, played some airs so entrancingly beautiful that they at once drew tears of sorrow and delight from my eyes. She sang, and her voice flowed in a rich cadence, swelling or drawing away like a nightingale in the woods. Let me make a couple adjustments. There we go. Okay. When she had finished, she gave the guitar to Agatha, who at first declined it. She played a simple air, and her voice accompanied it in her sweet accents, but, unlike the wondrous strain of the stranger, the old man enraptured and said some words which Agatha endeavoured to explain to Safie, and by which he appeared to wish to express that she bestowed upon him the greatest delight with her music. The days now passed as peaceably as before, with the sole alteration that joy had taken place of sadness in the countenances of my friends. Safie was always gay and happy. She and I improved rapidly in the knowledge of language, so that in 2 months I began to comprehend most of the words uttered by my protectors. In the meanwhile, also, the black ground was covered with herbage, and the green banks interspersed with innumerable flowers, sweet to the scent, and the eyes stars of pale radiance among the moonlight. Woods the sun became warmer, the nights clearer and balmy, and my nocturnal rambles were an extreme pleasure to me, although they were considerably shortened by the late setting and early rising of the sun. for I never ventured abroad during daylight, fearful of meeting with the same treatment I had formerly endured in the first village which I entered. My days were spent in close attention, that I might more speedily master the language, and I boast that I improved more rapidly than the Arabian, who understood very little and conversed in broken accents, whilst I comprehended and could imitate almost every word that was spoken. Hi everybody in chat, how are you? While I improved my speech, I also learned the science of letters, as it was taught to the stranger, and this opened before me a wide field of wonder and delight. The book from which Felix instructed Safi was Volney's Ruins of Empires. I should not have understood the purport of this book had not Felix, in reading it, given very minute explanations. He had chosen this work, he said, because the declamatory style was framed in imitation of the Eastern authors. Through this work I obtained a cursory knowledge of history and a view of the several empires at present existing in the world. It gave me an insight into the manners, governments, and religions of the different nations of the earth. I heard of the slothful Asiatics, of the stupendous genius and mental activity of the Grecians, of the wars and wonderful virtue of the early Romans, of their subsequent what is this word? Degenerating, okay. Of the subsequent degenerating, as in a degenerate, of this decline of that mighty empire of chivalry, Christianity, and kings. I heard of the discovery of the American hemisphere, and wept with Safi over the hapless fate of its original inhabitants. These wonderful narrations inspired me with strange feelings. Was man indeed at once so powerful, so virtuous and magnificent, yet so vicious and base? He appeared at once a mere scion of the evil principle, and at another as all that can be conceived of noble and godlike. To be a great and virtuous man appeared the highest honour that can befall a sensitive being. To be base and vicious, as many on record have been, appeared the lowest degradation, a condition more abject than that of the blind mole or harmless worm. For a long time I could not conceive how one man could go forth and murder his fellow, or even why there were laws and governments. But when I heard details of vice and bloodshed, my wonder ceased, and I turned away with disgust and loathing. Every conversation of the cottagers now opened new wonders for me. While I listened to the instructions which Felix bestowed upon the Arabian, the strange system of human society was explained to me. I heard of the division of property, of immense wealth and squalid poverty, of rank, descent, and noble blood. The words induced me to turn towards myself. I learned that the possessions most esteemed by your fellow creatures were high and unsullied descent, united with riches. A man might be respected with only one of these advantages, but without either, he was considered, except in very rare instances, as a vagabond and a slave, doomed to waste his power on the profits of the chosen few. And what was I? Of my creation and creator I was absolutely ignorant, but I knew that I possessed no money, no fence, no friends, no kind of property. I was, besides, endued with the figure hideously deformed and loathsome, I was not even of the same nature as man. I was more agile than they, and could subsist upon coarser diet. I bore the extremities of heat and cold with less injury to my frame. My stature far exceeded theirs. When I looked around, I saw and heard of none like me. I was then a monster, a bolt upon the earth from which all men fled and whom all men disowned. I cannot describe to you the agony that these reflections inflicted upon me. I tried to dispel them, but sorrow only increased with knowledge. Oh, that I had forever remained in my naive wood, nor known nor felt beyond the sensation of hunger, thirst, and heat. And what a strange nature is knowledge! It clings to the mind when it has once seized on it like a lichen on the rock. I wished sometimes to shake off all thought and feeling, but I learned that there was but one means to overcome the sensations of pain, and that was death, a state which I feared, yet did not understand. I admired virtue and good feelings, and loved the gentle manners and amiable qualities of my cottagers, but I was shut out from intercourse with them, except through which means I obtained my stealth. When I was unseen and unknown, and which rather increased than satisfied the desire I had of becoming one among my fellows, the gentle words of Agatha and the animated smiles of the charming Arabian were not for me. The mild exhortations of the old man and the lively conversations of the loved Felix were not for me, miserable, unhappy wretch. Other lessons were impressed upon me even more deeply. I heard of the difference of sexes, and the birth and growth of children, how the father doted on the smiles of the infant, and the lively sallies of the older children, how all life and cares of the mother were wrapped up in the precious charge, how the mind of youth expanded and gained knowledge of brother, sister, and all the various relationships which bind one human being to another in mutual bonds. But where were my friends and my relations? No father had watched my infant days, no mother had blessed me with smiles and caresses, or if they had, all my past life was now a blot, a mind, a blind vacancy in which I distinguished nothing. From my earliest remembrance, I had been as I then was in height and proportion. I had never yet seen a being resembling me, or claimed any intercourse with me. What was I? The question again recurred, to be answered only with groans. I will soon explain to what these feelings tend, but allow me now to return to the cottagers, whose story excite me such various feelings of indignation, delight, and wonder, but which all terminated in additional love and reverence from my protectors. For so I loved, in an innocent, half-painful self-deceit, to call them. That has to be the saddest chapter that we have read of Frankenstein so far. You guys have to imagine the feeling, right? You guys have to imagine the feeling to know that there is not just think, right? Not to just think about, oh, I'm not cute enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, right? That he literally has no one. Not that he doesn't have a family. Because he was created, there is no family. His own creator, Frankenstein himself, abandoned Adam, right? And because of that, he has no family, no friends. When people look at him, they literally throw things at him, they curse him, they hurt him because they don't understand him. And he comes to realize in chapter 13 that as much as he, in a way it's very parasocial, right? He watches Felix and Agatha and their father. He sees their interactions every day, knowing that he could never have that. He could never be in that situation with them. He could never be a part of their lives. Because if he tried, he knows that they would fear him. Right? So to have that thought in your head that the people that you want to protect, that you want to protect, that you want to love, that you want to be loved by them, the only thing that they'll ever give to you is fear and probably hatred. Not to just suspect, not to just assume, but to know. Oh, poor Adam. An outsider, not of his own fault. Exactly. He didn't choose, like literally, none of us choose to be born. We just are, but him, it's different. He had no choice in the matter. One man decided to create life by using someone else, but effectively that someone else has no memory of their own life before. Scene from Lilo and Stitch, where Stitch was told he has no family, but rather was made by Jumba. Exactly, right? It's literally that. Jumba and Stitch are Frankenstein and the creature, right? And Frankenstein's creation, Adam. We're calling him Adam. So to have that dynamic of you have no bond, you have no connection, there is no one out there, right? Like at the end of Lilo and Stitch, he is adopted by Lilo and her family, and he is now part of that family, right? But he has the benefit of being strong and cute. Now imagine if Stitch was not cute. If Stitch was like, I even had to say, if Stitch was grotesque, the likelihood of him getting adopted by Lilo would not have happened. Looked like a xenomorph. Exactly, yeah, like, looked to that level of, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, we all joke, just like, I would adopt the ugly pet from the pet stop, you know? Tyson, thank you for checking. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. But that is the end of chapter 13. And I can't help but feel sad for Adam. Poor Adam. We have about 15 more minutes, so I think we're just gonna kind of chill and hang out a bit. I'm going to put the book away. We're just gonna chill and hang out for a little bit for 15 minutes. I don't want to end on like a, you know, goodbye book. Don't be that upset. You get to see more of me. Unless you want the book. Do you want to bring out the book again? Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying, Kanoi? I'm gonna bring out the book again. Want the book? Want more book? Okay, here you go. Here's more book. Here you go, Kanoi. More book. Exactly what you wanted. Exactly what you wanted. It's a pretty book though, isn't it? It's very pretty. I like... Oh, I got the beak. It's very, has like a little tail thing, as you get to see. It's supposed to like actually... Oh no. Oh no. There you go. Okay. It's supposed to actually like... what's the word? The pages are supposed to actually turn. For some reason, it doesn't. So... But yeah, that's That's book chum. It's definitely a book. Very sturdy book. Yeah. Just wants the book as Raffle. Raffle, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you. Over to J.M. Shearer, Profanity, Fractured Tatofen, Christian Crisis, Subject Delta, Land Whale, Maple! Maple got one! Maple Syrup, Joss Raffle, over to, Dickney and Dictony and to school. Thank you so much, Raffle. Thank you for the gifted subs. Thank you. I'm good, Joy. How about you? Raffle, did you want me to change my outfit to the other one? The one that you haven't seen yet? You want me to change to that one? Because this is the second time you've done 10. Sure? Okay, let me do this. Because I have to do this in a very particular way. This is, hold on. This is Straiko's favorite outfit. He liked this one. This is the other outfit that we picked up yesterday. We picked this one up yesterday. This one has a couple different colors. It's comes in like this white kind of cream color. It's supposed to be gray, but I changed it to blue. And then also black. It has black. It's so cute. Isn't it cute? Just a cute little like dress. Right, just a nice little dress. I like it. Simple and tasteful. We also got a red dress. But we didn't put that on today. We only have these two. Take the book and go. Very well. I had a good time with friends. A lot of emotions shared with one of them. In a good way. I'm hoping. I'm hoping it was in a good way, right? Right? So cute. Yeah, I like this one. This was one that I've been wanting to pick up for a little while, so I'm glad last night you guys encouraged me to spend money. So thank you for that. Such a lovely time. Good. I'm glad you did. I don't want to accidentally not respond to that later. But, this money well spent though. So the creator who makes these body assets, this one was like $10? $9? Something like that. They're usually pretty inexpensive. They're not terrible. But, yeah. So good of a time, in fact, I ended up eating dinner 2 hours later than normal. Like, because you were just, like, what's it called? You were just that, not hungry, what sort of thinking of, like you were that excited just to spend time with your friends that you lost track of time, kind of feeling. I've done that. It's always a good feeling when, like, you can spend that time with your friends that you just lose track of the day, or lose track of the time. Yeah. That happens to me too. I often, like, if I go over to a friend's house, people be like, are you sure, like, you're gonna be okay with whatever? And I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. And then it turns out that, like, I probably should have done whatever it was. You know what I mean? Need to work on my model more. You're getting a model? What's your model look like? Do you have anything that you can share? Anything that you want to share? I've shown you guys the 2.0 design that we have in mind. I'll send it to you later. Okay. It's been a while since I've showed you guys that. Do you guys want to see? It has been a hot minute, but I could show you guys the idea that Inky and I have. Oh, before I actually do that, I have to let me make it safe for work. Let me make it safe for work first, and then I'll show you guys the 2.0. It's been a minute since I showed it off. We actually came up with a not that one. There it is, this one. We came up with something that I think you guys will really like. Okay, here. No. That's right. Yeah, okay, here. Let's do this one. Right. I forget that these are pretty big. I have to make this safe for work, so just give me a second, guys. Do that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Alright. I can show you guys this. So, here we go. Here it is. This is the 2.0 design that me and Inky have come up with. We added in an apron. We changed the nightgown into, it used to be like a pair of shorts and shirt, but we made it into like a nightgown. We're keeping the big sweater. The apron is gonna be so freaking cute. It's gonna have a big old bow in the back. And then in the middle outfit, the one with the apron, that's gonna be more of my casual work outfit. That far right one, the nightgown one, yeah. Oh, the far right, that's my monster form. That's gonna be my monster form. I've already talked to the artist, and they said that they can do it. And the one on the left is just to show the scars, the tattoo, as well as the markings. This is the 2.0 that we're going to be raising money for in August. This will be my next, for my next evolution. This one is going to have 3 outfits, as well as the monster form, a bathing suit, and lingerie, right? The nightgown is going to be able to come off. Obviously not for Twitch, but but yes, I will have a monster form if we reach the goal for the 2.0, which is what the big event in August is going to be paying for. But yeah, I'll be showing this off more when Inky has a little bit more details to share. But right now, that's just where we are. And that is where we are with the 2.0. We have the reference sheet already paid off, so any funds in August are going to go directly to the art and the rigging for the 2.0. But yeah, those are pretty, right? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna find somebody to raid on into. Let's see, who is live? Who is also doing some ASMR that we haven't raided into in a hot minute. We can go to somebody new. We can go to... Let's see. Let me see. Oh, they look really cute. Okay. Let me take a look at them real quick. Sonar Scree. They're really cute. You know what? Yes, we're doing it. They're very cute. They are doing some ASMR. The name is Sonar Scree. They are a chunky bat broadcasting channel. They are so freaking cute. We're gonna go to them. I am so happy we found them. Amelia, hi. Let me give you. So the Discord at the moment, Amelia, because we had a lot of people lately, get hacked, or they ended up being bots and they got into the Discord. So if you do want the Discord, Amalia, send me a Discord, a Twitter, not Twitter, what's the word? Twitch. Send me a Twitch private message, and I will send it to you. I will send it to you. We do kind of have it on lockdown right now. I'm hoping one more week, and then we can actually just open it up again with a command. But that's where we are. If you do want the Discord, that's how I recommend sending it to me. Just send me a DM on Twitch, and I will send you a response with the link. But this is the person we're going to go right on into. Their name is Sonar Screen. They're so cute. And hopefully you guys will join me as we raid into them. But thank you everybody for hanging out with me. You too. I will have to catch you guys next time. Have a good night. On YouTube.